You want to play? I'm
Play a
down.
quick game.
Oh god, go on.
Look at him. He's nervous now. He's nervous.
Man, I'm going
He's
first.
nervous about.
Discombobulate.
Fuck off,
Oh,
bro.
come on.
Get out of here with your fake ass words, fam.
Alright,
Got one.
okay. Go on. Wait, which order are we going in? Clockwise.
I don't know what clockwise is to you, Gan.
Clockwise for me is me, then Ryan, then Sly.
See,
Oh.
for me, it's Woozy, Sly, me.
Yeah.
So how we doing?
Do that one because it's like the stream. If anyone's watching, they can thing.
So it's me,
Then me.
then
Sly.
Ryan, then Sly.
No.
Woozy,
it's-
Sly, Ryan. Woozy, Sly.
Oh, clockwise. I'm thinking counterclockwise. No, I'm an idiot. Oopsie.
Oopsie, I made a poopsie.
What? That's how that sounds
That's
like
from
white
white
chicks.
chicks. From white
Oh, there you
chicks.
go. Look, see? I literally said it sounded like something white chicks. Go on, Woozy.
Tire.
Exhausted.
Car.
What? Are we counting that?
Yeah, I said tire, and you said exhausted.
Exhausted.
Like a car tire.
Like a tire.
I thought you said tired.
No,
Tire.
fam.
That's why we just let it go.
Oh.
When you said exhausted, I said that is like exhausting a car, I guess.
Okay, then
That's what I was thinking. I think you meant exhaust. I'm just gonna let it run.
Oh,
Like,
okay, start again. So I thought you said tired. That made more sense.
fuck me.
Tired. I'm gonna say wheel. There you go.
Okay.
Car.
Window.
Glass.
Sand.
Beach.
Shore.
Ocean.
Sea.
Lake.
Pond.
Fish.
Amphibian.
Reptile.
Bird.
Fly.
Airplane.
Pilot.
Co-pilot.
Passenger.
Flight attendant.
That's 2 words.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That's what I said. Co-pilot. I said it's got the hyphen to get it. So like, we'll allow it.
I was thinking flight attendant, but my brain couldn't pull it together quick enough. So I was like passenger.
Bro, I was thinking so hard I put my fucking scab off. I was literally over here just like.
Oh,
Just
fam,
go
I love
with
that.
the
That
flow.
was a vibe. That was a vibe. Wait, can we do that again? I want to go
Yeah,
again.
I'm down with it. I'll let Sly start this one off.
Pen.
What?
Pencil.
Paper.
Wood.
Tree.
Forest.
Woods.
Branch.
I couldn't think of the word.
I said branch.
Does it count if you use the same word and put an S on it?
Wood. Woods.
Yeah, because the woods is like like a forest of woods, and wood is in like actually wood.
Yeah, it's calm. I said branch. I said branch.
Said branch, leaves.
Twig.
Autumn.
Spring.
Summer.
Winter.
Coat.
Jacket.
Jumper.
Turtleneck.
That's 2 words.
That's not 2 words. Isn't
Is it?
turtleneck one big word? Turtleneck doesn't have space. Does it?
I don't know. Let it run. Let it run. Let it run. Let it run. Go next.
Fleece.
Clothing.
Uniqlo.
Whoa. Brand.
Nike.
Adidas. I remember Adidas.
Stripes.
Logo.
Branding.
Advertising.
Marketing.
Instagram.
Facebook.
Adverts.
YouTube.
Video.
Twitch.
Video games.
Is that 2 words?
That is for sure 2 words.
Let it run. Let it run. Let it run. Let it run. Let it
Ryan
run.
just don't want to see the game end. He just don't want to see it end.
I keep fucking it up with the 2 words, bro.
Alright. One more. We'll do one more. Free Ryan, you start this time.
By the way, turtleneck is 1 word.
It is 1 word. It is. You start this time, Ryan. That would be it.
I start. Band.
Guitar.
String.
Drum set.
Is that 2 words?
Drum set. Drum set.
That doesn't help your case when you split it like that. What's a drum?
When you actually add the
You add the space.
Drum set.
I'll give you that.
Drum set's 1 word.
It's
I'll
not.
give you it. Symbol.
What do you mean? A drum set's 1 word, fam.
It's not.
I'll give you I'll say symbol. Symbol.
Hieroglyphics.
Egyptian.
Whoa.
He went he flipped that big time.
Pyramids. That's a homophone, my G.
Triangle.
Square.
Cube.
Oblong.
Rectangle.
Wait, hold on. Wait, I said cube, you said oblong. That does not go.
Is oblong not a shape?
Oblong's not a shape, it's a characteristic.
Is
it a shape?
Oblong. Something can be oblong.
Is it a shape too? Let me find out.
I don't know.
What did you say? You said rectangle. Oblong is a rectangular object with a flat figure with unequal adjacent sides.
Swear. Teach me something, bro. I heard oblong and I thought of
someone's head.
An object or a flat figure and an oblong elongated. I said cube. I guess that works. Fuck, I never heard the word oblong used like that. He said oblong. I was like, whoa, hold on, whoa.
I'll be honest. The only time I heard oblong is when someone described someone else's head. Like that's the only time. Like you got
that's
oblong head.
what I was thinking. I was like, that's a oblong is a fucking rounded object for sure. What do you say? You said rectangle?
I said some shape. I can't remember, but yeah, continue.
I think you said rectangle. So I'm gonna say line.
Dot.
Apostrophe.
Punctuation.
Grammar.
You say grammar.
English.
Español. Muy bien.
Language.
French.
Oh my days! I'm trying to come off this. What do you say?
Latin.
Greek.
Athens.
Ooh. Gods.
Olympus.
Olympics.
Hercules.
Strength.
Strong.
Weak.
Fragile.
Glass.
No.
Opaque.
Serum. Oh fuck!
Got him.
I was going to say see-through,
innit? See, I knew it because I was going to say it.
I should have said transparent.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say? You gonna say seeper?
I was going to say see-through because he said opaque. So the first thing
But is a see-through one word?
Nah.
Yeah, no, it's two.
Swear.
Because I should have said transparent because that came straight to my head, but I was like already on C, so I was like, "Fuck, I screwed it."
It might be thing actually. It might have a hyphen in there.
Is that wait?
It can have a hyphen, but it's usually 2 words. No, it has a hyphen. It has a hyphen. It's a phrasal verb, they call it.
One of them.
So it depends on how you guys feel about it. Like a lot versus a lot. One's real, one's fake.
True. I don't use a lot of iPhones. All right,
Bro, somebody was in the stream yesterday getting mad. Now getting mad. They were laughing because I said plethora, and they're like, use plethora like it's normal. I was like, fuck, I don't know. I thought the fucking word plethora and used it. I didn't know it wasn't normal.
All right.
But it's time for Sly to do the intro.
Okay, let me get the stream beats up.
Stream
Nice.
beats. We
Back
make
in
our
the-
own beats. Up. No.
Wait a minute.
No. Fuck off out.
Wait
out.
a minute.
No. Fuck out of
Hey,
here. fam.
Ghostin, what's up, baby boy?
I don't know what you saying, broski?
Wait.
Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. What you gonna do, Sly?
Remember Viva? We tasked him to do the intro.
Oh,
Some musical instruments in the background.
Do.
It's gonna be hella basic, by the way.
That's
fine.
It starts off basic.
Let me see that little pinky finger of yours. You said it was movie retarded.
It is bare retarded, fam. But I can do this one. Do you want to know, yeah? So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it to the beat of Wonderwall, and you're all gonna like it. So, but I'll do it like. Wait. Will I? I don't know. Can you hear that?
It's cutting out a bit. Put the mic to it.
Put the mic near the hole.
Can you hear that?
It keeps cutting
A
for
little
me.
bit.
That
Put it near the
sucks.
hole. Put
It
it
is
near
near
the
the
hole.
hole.
There you go. Right there in that hole.
What do I do this? I can see that you can't hear it though.
Man, you got some good software, bro. It's cutting out that shit, bro. I can hear everything in the background on my fucking shit.
I don't have any software. This is just the mic, fam. I literally
no,
plug it in and go.
I'll say this: Discord has some good ass software because Discord has its own like noise cancellation. That shit's fire.
Yeah. 'Cause if I'm like, you can hear that, can't you?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Put more oomph
But
into
then
it.
if I'm like,
Yeah, like the
you hear
start,
that?
then it cancels it out.
It like cuts
so
it out as
so it
as
notices it and then it cuts it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
you notice it, like speech.
That means you gotta get an electric guitar. We gotta get a goal up so we can get him an electric guitar.
Maybe though,
No,
if you
it's
speak, maybe if you
If I
speak, the
stomach
fresh,
it,
start talking. Maybe the threshold will stay open because you're speaking and it's recognizing voice.
welcome to the podcast with me, Woozy and Dance. Yeah.
With the light off, man.
Good.
With the light in the air.
With lighter in the air, yeah. Welcome to the podcast with me, Woozy and Dance. It don't stop.
Banger.
He's amazing! Oh my god!
It's Michael
You can find me at www.twitch.tv/Viva_Red with 2 Ds.
You know what's funny about that too?
Does that even work?
What?
That was low key fire, bro.
That was flames.
That gotta be it, bro. That's it right there. He did it.
Chief, is that it?
Fuck.
That was it.
Go ahead, Sly. It's time for that Sly's random ass question. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the stream. Across the Pond podcast. Day 52. I don't know what day it is at this point. But we're on a good number. We're almost done with double digits.
Okay. Well, Sly's random ass question. If you could only have one meal for the rest of your life, what meal will it be? One meal, one piece of food, one dish for the rest of your life. Meal. A mealy.
Is it one meal that I can remix, or is it one meal like exactly the same?
One meal exactly the same.
Like if I get pizza, can I have different kinds of pizzas, or can it only be pepperoni pizza?
Okay. It sounds like that's your answer.
That's a good
We'll
vibe.
do both.
Huh?
Both. So pick one
Alright.
that you would, if you could only have one, and
Pasta.
pick another.
Pasta. I'm
Okay.
mixing the fuck out of that shit.
Well, you're gonna be
You
mixing
can't
pasta
remix
if you can't have anything else with
You
pasta.
could put fucking all sorts of shit in pasta, fam.
But that means that's including other stuff.
Alfredo's. I'm talking about Alfredo to be exact.
Wait. I'm confused then because you just said that we can change
Alright,
it.
one dish.
So, like, if
One
it's
dish.
pizza, you
One
can put
dish.
different shit on.
One dish.
I'm just talking about the protein, bro. I'm just trying to
One
change the
dish.
protein. That's all I need.
One dish.
As long as I can have. I'm
You
talking
can
like, I would
say
have,
spaghetti bolognese or something like that.
I would have
dish.
Alfredo, and then it'll be chicken Alfredo one day, and then it'll be shrimp Alfredo, and it would just be Primavera.
I'm gonna count them all as different meals. Pick one.
Just pick one.
Pick one.
I'm gonna let people go first because there's not no meal that's had fire than me.
A meal, a dish. You can say Sunday roast, which has like 4 different elements to it. Fine,
Nah,
but-
fuck
I was
that,
just
fam.
asking about that fucking Sunday roast.
You know what? Yeah, I think I'd have like a fucking burrito, fam.
Respect.
What's
Because
in a
like
burrito?
because it means I can take it anywhere. It's always peng,
Yeah, like
and like as I said, like it's movable, isn't it? So like if I'm out and about, I'm gonna have a burrito. If I'm at home, I can have a burrito. Like, it's calm.
so. Let me ask you: if I eat this thing, can I? Do I get all my nutritional value from it?
Yeah, it's not like you're gonna die.
All right, I'm doing cereal, bro. And to be exact, doing Frosted Flakes for the rest of my life with bananas.
Frosted flakes with bananas for the rest of your life.
Ah,
Out
fuck
of
that shit.
all meals you could have. Tony the Tiger.
Have you ever had Frosted Flakes with bananas in it, bro?
Tony.
God. Ah, fuck that shit, bro.
They don't have
that
Tony the
shit-
Tiger in the US, fam.
Or what do they have?
Oh, what you?
They just have hella sugary frosted flakes, bruv.
Gregory the goat or something?
Simon the sugar cube found by Sugar the Burger. Frosted flakes. Fair enough.
Frosted Flakes goated. But Frosted Flakes aren't that bad as far as other. Nah, you know what? It's just fucking sugar. But like, at least it's straight to the point. Everything else is like marshmallow and all that. Nah, fuck all that, bro. Give me that fucking sugar on top of the corn flakes with some bananas on the side.
Okay, fair enough.
What about you, John?
I can't even lie, yeah.
Oh no.
It might have to be, for the simplicity, it might have to be like a pasta thing, I can't lie. Or, if I want to be exotic, it might have to be ackee and saltfish.
It's shellfish?
With what though? Just the saltfish, like on its ones, or does it come with like shit?
If I could
You said
eat
a
rice and peas, macaroni cheese, ackee and saltfish, which is like normally one dish, I'm good. I'm good. Or snapper fish or fried
for
fish
the
or
rest
something
of
like
your
that.
life?
Yeah. Because like that for one is a range. It's a meal. It's a dish. A range of stuff, and that covers a lot of flavors. So today, one day I might be like, I just want the rice. You know? That's my thing.
That's how he's hacking the system, but we couldn't hack the system.
You can hack the
Yeah.
system, but tell me one
Yeah,
dish.
it's like one rule for him and then another one for us.
Tell me one dish, one
Like,
meal.
he's
That's it.
She's
And you
like,
pick
bro,
the
I
ingredients.
got like 4 different options in one, and I can choose different things, but I can't have different protein.
Trust me.
You pick your meal. You pick
You know
what's on
what,
your
yeah,
plate.
I'm gonna be like, my burrito also has like a side of chips, and like,
One day I might just eat the chips.
One day I just want to eat the chips, you know.
Is that
Like,
legit? Is that a legit? Yeah, you can't say something like, "I'm gonna have cereal and pizza." That's not a legit meal, fam. Like, those are technically 2 different things, fam. You can't mix
Didn't
and
say
match.
that though.
It's like you saying. That's why I said
Oh.
you could say Sunday roast.
I take mine back. I know what I'll get.
you see his
I know what I
face,
get.
just like,
I'll do a combo plate, the combo teppanyaki plate with the shrimp, chicken, and the steak, bro, with the fried rice and the soup and the salad. And I'll be happy for the rest of my life if I get that every.
That a dish.
that's kind of like so at Chinese restaurants in the UK, you have like the mixed boxes. So the boxes where you can basically just put whatever the fuck you want in them, and they're paying.
See,
Fair enough.
this one is Japanese, so it's like they get the black top, the like flat top, and that's when they get the two tones and be.
Fucking Benihana's.
Oh, you know, in
Benny
these
fucking
buffets, yeah.
Hana.
Would you like to see my egg roll? You never heard this?
What?
You guys never had it?
It's the way you said it.
You haven't seen it? That's how he says it. Would you like to see my Would you like to see my Japanese egg roll? And then they roll it over the fuck. They roll it on the fucking stove, but I get hella weak every time. Huh?
Who says this?
The kid who's cooking the food. They cook it in front of you.
What, Benny? I never been Benny Hana's.
Yeah,
Benny fucking Hana. It's from what the fuck? Wolf of Wall Street.
Yep.
I know it.
But like, when he goes, Benny fucking Hana. Benny fucking Hana. And he's like, I'm not going to no fucking Benny fucking Hana. It's my life.
But that's a good question, Sly. That's a good one.
You got another one, or is there any more for any more, or is that it?
I'm offering it. Do any of you man have one question? Because Woozy took one last time. Do you have a question, Viva?
Yeah, Viva. What's your question?
Sly's about integration. Sly's question is not Sly.
It's about inclusion.
About inclusion.
It's about working together.
I had a question. I just forgot it.
I got a good one.
So,
when you're done.
Okay, fair. So if you could sing only one song for the rest of your life, or never sing ever again, which would you pick?
So if I never sing again, can I listen to any music I want?
Okay, changing it. You have to listen to one song for the rest of your life, or you never listen to a song again.
I couldn't.
And if you pick the former, then what song would you listen to?
It's not a song I can't really know. I would have to go shopping for songs that are like without words, neutral, something that's like beneficial.
Something without words.
I'm doing Runaway.
I'm gonna be annoyed, fam, because if I'm gonna listen the rest of my life, I don't want to be listening to words like the same shit. I'd rather listen to some like acapella shit or some instrumental where I can make up words myself or something like that and just do that or whatever.
I can imagine we've just been like,
No, Runaway by Kanye West.
Kanye West.
oh, okay. Sorry, I got flashback straight into Zanti, fam. I was in Zanti real quick.
You know, a song actually would be a good one. I'm just a small town boy. What's that fucking song? It's by Train.
Journey, fam. Come on,
Journey. There you go.
Just a small town girl, dum dum dum, living in a lonely world. That's a fucking banger, fam.
That
midnight train going anywhere.
They ghosting. You got to keep up with the water.
Thinking about that though, like honestly, that song probably would keep me hella up. Like if I was in a bad mood and I was listening to that, there's no way I could be fucking down.
You know the main thing about that, yeah, is I'm gonna be that guy. The Glee version of it is fire, fam. You ever listen to the Glee version of that song?
I don't think I've listened to the original.
Of course, I listened to the Glee version, but I don't remember the Glee version like that. I remember the original. The Glee has some really good versions though. Look at his face.
Did my guy just say I never even heard the fucking original, fam?
We gotta remember, Sly lives in a cave, bro. My man Sly don't even got Wi-Fi. He's usually using his neighbor's Wi-Fi just for this situation.
He's got the 3G off his phone, fam.
This is a secret in the library, bro. They don't know I'm here. It's in the library. I just put my bed.
He said, "This is my iPhone 3GS right now. Bro. I don't even know what an iPhone X is."
Like I've probably heard it once, but not the whole way through. I don't know who it's by.
That's wild to me.
So like, if you sat there and someone just went to you,
Christ.
waiting, you wouldn't even be able to be like
I know like the rhythm of it, but I don't know the lyrics. I didn't know the word "strange" was in it. I have heard it, but not like properly. I just heard it around. Like
if someone just goes to you, "Don't stop believing," you're not just like you're not gonna instantly be like, "Don't stop believing,"
and then I don't know the words after that.
Hold on to that feeling.
No.
No,
I've heard that before, but like not like heard it. Like I've not sat down and listened to the song.
So go on your phone, open Spotify.
You got some homework tonight, Sly.
No, thank you. I plead the fifth.
I got my question, and then we can get onto the topics. I got a perfect question.
Perfect.
If you could be any
Apple and mango
type of
juice.
warrior in history, what warrior would you be?
A warrior.
Yeah.
Maybe samurai because they look cool.
I feel like I primed you for that one.
I was gonna
What
say,
with
what's that fucking song where it's like, I'm a butterfly. I need your
Green,
your
black, and
protection.
blue make the
Umbrella.
colors of the sky. I'm a little butterfly.
Yeah, so
black,
there's
and blue,
a remix of that.
That's the remix.
There's a remix of that where it's like some like band that was in.
I am a butterfly.
I am a
I
butterfly.
need your
I need
protection.
your-
Be my samurai.
Yeah. And then this guy comes in, he's like, I am a ninja, and then it goes like fucking crazy off. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird AF, fam. But let me
song on DDR, and I fucked that song up in DDR.
you know, fucking in Mulan, the original one, the new one's trash. In Mulan, where they have the "Let's get down to business," you know, you both there? Duh. Yeah, that one.
If the daughters
Tell me,
for signs.
you're unsuited for the rage of war. So pack up your fruit.
How could I make a man out of you?
I'm never gonna. Sorry, I'm gonna go off on this one, fam. I'm gonna go off.
What was the reference?
I'm never gonna catch my breath. Say goodbye to who knew me. Sorry, right? Okay. I think those guys were lit, fam, just because of the film.
Top tier.
Top
China.
tier.
What are the names of them
Top tier
guys,
China.
please? I don't know what you're talking about.
You never seen Mulan?
I have, but it was years ago, man. I've got the DVD, the video
I
cassette
think-
somewhere.
They're like the Chinese Imperials, fam. That's all they were at the time, because they were fighting off the Han. That's why they built the Wall of China. You know, the Great Wall of China.
Yeah.
That's why
I
they
haven't seen
built it.
Mulan
It was
in
like
years.
the
I used
Chinese
to love
Imperials.
Mulan, but I haven't seen it in years. I didn't watch the remake.
I can't
don't
lie
have a
to you,
video
yeah.
player.
So the remake is trash, but to actually answer your question, I'd be going for you know who William Wallace is, right?
You search him up.
Are you fucking kidding, bro? Wait, I want to make sure that fucking Woozy knows who this is, fam.
Nope, don't know this guy.
Yo, Woozy, can you hear me?
Where did he get his Frosted Flakes?
No, I had to leave because you fucking didn't remember Mulan. I was like, what's going on?
Bro, I watched that film in years. You know how old that is?
Bro, I haven't seen Mulan in years, and I know that song by heart.
I can't even remember half of the shit that goes on.
Alright, okay, so I can understand if Woozy doesn't know who this is, but do you know who William Wallace is, Woozy?
Not by the name. What's the reference?
Okay, so it's like he was a Scottish guy who fought for Scottish freedom, like way
Braveheart?
back. Yeah, Braveheart. Yeah. See, fuck me, fam. if I could be like in that stage of warrior, I thought that was fucking like it was gory as fuck, but that would have been cool.
So you want to be a Scottish warrior? I can respect that.
Sly knows fuck all about it, and Woozy's Californian and still knows what it is.
You said Braveheart. If you said Braveheart, I'd be like, okay, fair enough. I have some resemblance, but he didn't know William Wallace either. Don't even try it.
Give me
He
the
had-
reference. I knew it.
I googled it. I saw the
William
name. I said I don't know
Braveheart.
him, and then he said Braveheart. I scrolled down. It says William Thing biography Braveheart. But it's only when you said it, I looked at it and I was like, oh, okay, fair enough. But on William
allow
Wallace,
it
I don't know who
slide.
that is. I bet
I'll-
if we
I'll
go to
allow
most
it
people, they don't know
slide.
who William Wallace is. But if you say Braveheart, they're like, oh yeah.
I would be a brave-hearted American soldier fighting on the fighting on the front lines.
Alright,
Nah.
lads. Let
Protecting
us-
our shores from east, south, west, and north.
Hey, okay, so I'm divided on this, honestly, because I've always had respect for like the Trojan warriors, even the samurais and shit like that. But then again, like at the end of the day, the Marines are fucking cold, bro. Like next level cold, and I think that would be kind of dope. I just don't think I got it in me to be a Marine.
They're like the deadliest, I guess, because of all the modern technology.
rather-
But it's not cool.
You'd rather be a
Well, no.
Marine than a SEAL.
Oh, no, what?
So you know, like SEAL. So the SEALs were the ones that took out Osama.
They took Osama bin Laden now.
Yeah.
But the Marines are the hardcore ones, right?
Yeah, like if you're in the Marine Corps, the Marines are meant to be like, but they're not like special forces. Do you
I know
know what
they're
I mean?
like first. They're like, aren't they like
Yeah,
the first
yeah,
one to hit the shores?
They're like first responders. Yeah.
That's exactly what I was talking about because the motherfuckers
Okay.
are raw.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I just wanted to make sure.
They fucking hit that soil and start the war up. Like, what the fuck kind of crazy shit you got to be on to do some shit like that? Army's just numbers, and Air Force is like, I'll let y'all do it, but we'll watch.
So you'd be a Marine.
I mean, I know I don't have it in me because I'm a bitch. like deep inside me, like I know I'm gonna crack, but no cap. Being a Marine, be fire.
Turn Nightbot off, bruv. It is trash. Or like get it to not do that.
So
I don't know why it does it.
What is it? What is it doing?
It's
Spamming. I
it's
changed
spamming.
it.
Spamming the emotes.
I'm pretty sure I changed that last week.
He said,
Nightbot still hates.
Justice for SoCal. Justice for SoCal, everybody. But
Hashtag
no,
justice for SoCal.
I'm not gonna front. Even though, like I said, I was talking about Ronins, but learning about the samurai way, that shit's kind of cold, bro. They like took over Japan for a minute.
Stop spamming. Sorry, guys. I've pressed disable and stopped spamming emotes. It says disabled.
Right, let's spam
Have you
some
got it
emotes.
on spamming anything?
Let's spam some emos then.
Blacklist and freeze and links. That's about it.
Oh, got
Okay.
banned. I got banned, y'all.
Woozy just got banned.
I'll get banned, yo.
What did you send?
You just did emotes.
Yeah, it says disabled. Oh, I'm an idiot. Never mind, guys.
Should work now.
Never mind.
Do you
Well,
know?
if you go onto Slyvesterz, you can spam emotes now, guys.
I was thinking about the type of like, I guess soldier or Viking you want to be or whatever it might be. The SAS are kind of cool, but
That is kind of dope.
the SAS are kind of cool.
It kind of scared me.
And you know the main thing. You know the main thing I like about like, and this is completely biased because I'm English, right? But the main thing I like about them is that they're just like hardcore, probably Northern English, if not Scottish, like badasses. I just want to fuck your shit up, like, and they'll go in there, fuck shit up, and walk out. Be like, yeah, did that, and like you're not gonna hear anything about it. I kind of like that. It's the same level as the Navy SEALs, but the problem with like America, in terms of like how it respects its navy and everything like that, is they're gonna be like the most highly regarded motherfuckers on the planet. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's gonna be like, oh my god, our SEAL team just fucked up all of this place. Like, they were so shit hot. Whilst if the SAS go in there, it's just gonna be like, oh, the SAS went in there and fucked them up, and they left. I kind of like the subdued, but still like, ooh, vibes about it. But I might be wrong. Woozy's giving me faces.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but also, I mean, I don't know about the SAS, but I watch a lot of like, what do you say, motivational talks and like people who are successful, and a lot of them fucking are like Navy SEALs and Marines. So it's like those motherfuckers come back and obviously like apply themselves too. I'd be shook. I'd be like, bro, I don't think I can go fucking murder someone and come back and be a successful person who also uplifts people. You just went over there and murdered people. And then when you hear about the training they go through, I'd be like,
yeah, no, it's nuts.
Y'all was sitting in mud for hours, my G, with the cold wind before war.
They were doing that stupid, you know, that thing where they like, I don't know about you guys, yeah, but have you ever done when you're lying on your back and you lift your legs up like 10 inches and then kick them?
That shit kills you.
And they do that with their hands behind their heads, yeah, whilst getting like sprayed down with water and shit for like hours. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, how? Why, firstly, but secondly, like, how?
Okay,
you can't
someone
join
I
the
thought
US
of, I
Army.
forgot about.
Man.
I forgot about the monks, bro. Monks are kind of cool too.
I was gonna say monks. I was going to, because I said something I didn't. I was gonna say monks. I was gonna change.
Have you seen when they do the fingers in the beans?
I just like the peace aspect from it. You know, they're warriors, but you know, that's it from.
Nah, bro. It's about the beans. Have you seen the way they train kids and they got to do the beans, bro? Or the water slap,
The water slap. No, what's that?
bro. It's like a fucking like a
The
pot of
bolting
water,
And they gotta keep slapping it.
and they gotta keep slapping it, and it looks like it's not hard, but they had to do it for like hours, and then like just keep doing it, and then they'll have another one where it's like beans, where it's like a bowl of beans, and they have to like shove their basically like shove their fingers in them like back and forth, like keep shoving their fingers in them, and this is like kids doing it. It's not like grown men. It's like kids doing to train to be the monk, and I'm like, hey yo, they might be onto something.
I can't even lie. You know, smacking water. I know it's not exactly the same, but like with the density of water, if you keep hitting it, it's like hitting like a wall, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Like it will come to a point where it will just keep condensing and smashing your hand.
Yeah.
That's why like diving is super duper dangerous, and people break their backs and shit because they don't know that when you hit into water, it is like hitting into a fucking concrete wall.
Lesson for everyone, yeah. If you're high in the sky and you think water's gonna save you, it may be better than concrete, but not that much better.
Yeah, but then the worst part about it is you're gonna create like a sinkhole if you're super high up, and then you have to then have the ability to swim up from
That's
however far you came down. That's the hardest part.
Bro, that's if you don't break yourself on landing, yeah.
People break their legs hitting that fucking water.
Mm-mm.
But granted, they said that's the best thing you could do is fucking break your legs, I guess, in a situation, because it's either break your legs or fucking break your back or break your neck, I guess, if you go head first.
You can survive from really high heights, you know. It's rare, but it depends on like how you land.
Yeah, and not many people know how to do the dive. I don't know how to do the dive properly. I would fuck myself up. Like you know the front dive, like how they actually do it. I have no idea how to do that. So I would go in with like my legs together and fucking try to make like a triangle with my hands.
Have you ever seen the Mythbusters?
Yes, I love Mythbusters.
They did the episode where they try to break the myth that if you throw something in the water first to break the water and then you hit it, does it make a difference? But like it makes a difference, but not. I remember it didn't make like the biggest difference. Go ahead.
I would assume it would make a difference in my mind.
Marginally, I guess, because the water
like a little depends how heavy it is, the thing that you're coming in with. But then I think if you drop a car and you're closely followed by the car, you're just gonna hit the car. So like that will kill you anyway.
Like throwing a hammer at the water to break the surface of the water, because that's the problem. You hit the water, you hit the surface of the water, but the surface of the water can't react fast enough. So it's like you said, it's like hitting a wall, and then the water reacts, and then you sink.
Yeah.
So it's like I throw the hammer at the water, I break the surface of water, and then I hit.
That's not going to change.
If I remember
at all.
That's what they said. It is. It makes a difference, but I don't know. They said I don't know if there's a difference between life and death.
You know, I'd be interested to know if going into like really heavy wave water or still water would be better. Because if it's moving,
against you, you're gonna be.
It makes it easier.
If it's moving towards you, you're dead. You're finished, bro. You're done.
Yeah, but then it can't be moving towards you. Water doesn't move vertical.
No, I'm saying with a wave. If the wave is any
I know that.
Your movement, you're finished, fam. If it's going like the same way, you might be alright. But if
I don't know how that works. I think that's just an interesting question.
It's physics, innit? It's force, innit? If the waves, like, say the wave's coming that way, that's force that way, and your force is that way. So you have to not even just your own force. You have that force as well that adds on to like kind of like neutralize you. It's a lot. It's too much force. It's too much.
I know we're miles away from the topic, but have you ever considered how like underwater torpedoes work? How the fuck do they move like that fast? I know they have a motor at the back of them. Yeah. They have a propeller at the back of them, don't they?
But that's how they move. At the thing, and
it's pressurized.
They get launched out, it's pressurized, and just the dynamics of it make it quite easy to slice through water. It's like a normal submarine anyway.
Yeah, it cuts through the water like it's nothing.
And then they have a propeller at the back of them, don't they?
Just think about it. Think of it as a small submarine, like a tiny.
Do you not think like engineering is just fucking nuts?
Well, is it a propeller? Or is it like the vacuum of the water keeps the motor turning? I don't know if it's an actual motor or not, but who knows?
I have no idea.
It's something. It is the motor. Whatever the
I was
water
gonna
does,
talk
you
about.
need it.
But is it the movement of the water going that makes it go, or is
What,
it
no, it's actually
because the
spinning.
velocity that it gets shot out with would then create a vacuum that it could funnel water
Keep-
through, I guess, and
Yeah.
keep it moving
I think
straight.
it looks like it, but like that's why they chose not that long, depending on how fast. So the water soon like closes in on it. But I don't think the vacuum's propelling it. I think it's either where it's been shot out or some sort of force pushing it through the water.
Interesting.
Otherwise, you've
Can we talk
essentially. Go on,
Can we
sorry.
talk about can we talk about the respect you have to have for the water, bro?
Yeah,
Because like,
so
I
it's
mean,
one
like,
place that we can't live.
so this is a thing I learned about where people go from. Is it from France? They get on a boat from France and they travel across the ocean for like a year and they reach a certain location, and like, I can't remember if it was. I think it's France. And I was like, to me, that was the wildest thing. Like, imagine like going on this fucking boat, this basically room on top of water, and sailing from one place to another for a year to like live. And I was just like, that's nuts. Because when I think about the ocean, that shit's so unpredictable and so fucking sketch, bro. Like, this, like, every time I watch a movie like Life of Pi, I recently watched Unbroken, like watching all these movies where motherfuckers are stuck at sea. I'm just like, the ocean is a fucking wild beast, and I don't know how anybody wants to take that chance of being out there.
Unbroken's fucking scary as hell, fam.
Unbroken shit.
Like when you,
Unbroken had me sad as fuck.
yeah, when you deep that, like not even like the fucking POW camp, just the fact that he was on the water for that long with his mate, like, fuck hell.
Bro, when they fucking grabbed the shark by the back and fucking beat the shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
But
ocean.
that's
like, bro,
I genuinely don't know how. Like, I know one of them dies, but I honestly don't know how they kept two people alive for that long.
what I mean, the thing, it wasn't the problem with food, it was the water.
Yeah, no, but that's what I mean. Like, two of them alive for that long. Like, water's not like a like, because think about it. If only one of them was living on that boat, the water would have been double whatever it was because I had two of them. So
Remember,
like,
they
to
were
be
supposed to
able to
save the
crash
water and stuff. Remember, the first guy fucked everything.
yeah, but yeah, it's insane.
Like, honestly,
I don't know shit.
like, you haven't seen Unbroken?
It's on Netflix.
Please watch
that
it.
explains it.
Okay, so basically, so the movie Unbroken, simply put, it was this Olympic star who ends up going to war, but his whole mentality, he's raised with the mentality of like, what was the quote, the famous quote he kept saying? It's like, what if I could survive or something like that.
Honestly,
Fuck,
I couldn't tell you. I haven't watched it for like a year or two.
So basically, the gist is basically if you can survive the pain, you can go farther than anybody else. So he applies that to his track career, and that's how he just keeps like he basically can just he can basically outdo everybody else because he just endures it he can endure it longer than anybody else. So in the movie, like he goes to war and basically like the fucking plane crashes and they're stuck in the water for a while. And that's the part me and Reeve are referencing is like the shit that he goes through, bro. The shit that he goes through, bro, in that movie is fucking, like I said, from the water to when he goes to the camp. The camp is the one that fucks me the most. I'm so sorry. I'm so like,
Oh no, the
okay,
camp is fire.
the part when he talks to the dude, he's like, the reason why I pick on you is because I can see you in my eyes. I can see me in your eyes. Like I can see the strength. And the fact that you're on the fact that you're from, so the war was between America and Japan. He's like, the fact that I can, fact that you're the enemy is why I treat you like shit. And I'm like, imagine seeing someone like I can relate to you, but the fact that we're enemies, I gotta treat you like the worst piece of shit ever.
Unbroken, yeah. I'm gonna check that out from some of this
Bro, that
conversation.
movie
I won't be in the dark.
I could just say like internal strength on that Don is a fucking myth, bro. Like,
Bro, yeah, because I watched that, and even him in the movie, you could tell he's like, he gets to the point, he's like, no fucking way, like, man, that movie gets to me because I'm like, I don't think I have it in me. Like, I look, you watch something like, can that be me? Does anybody else here in the chat do that? Did they watch something like, can that be me?
Yeah, all the time.
Can that be me? So I was watching. I was like, that can't be me. No way. I would have killed myself for sure. I would not have made it. No way.
That's what I say about like them zombie apocalypse films. If they're like, I always say, bro, I'm not a survivor, fam. I'll off myself, bro. You can have my body, fam.
Are you serious?
Maybe like now I've
See,
got
like,
a bit more, but before I was just like, just take man, fam. It's cool, bro. I chase you for now, fam. Like I ain't doing this.
That's fair play. I could not see myself doing that. Like, I would like to believe that I would literally just go. Like, it'd be one of those things where I'm like, I can't. I don't know. If I die, fam. Like, but I'm like doing everything I can. Huh?
Some zombie apocalypse.
Zombie, or even like the film. Like, I don't get me wrong. I probably would have died in that scenario, 100%.
You see,
But I
World War
would not
Z?
have given up. Like, it would have been one of those things where I'm like, I'm going for everything I can right now, fam.
Bro, you see World War Z where them zombies are sprinting and jumping it. Bro, you caught me, bro. You caught me, fam. I'm not even gonna bother.
Tag, I'm it.
Yo, bro, give me some of that virus, whatever it is. Let's go.
I remember watching a Caleb City skit and he made fun of that. And the guy was like, "Come on, we gotta go try to basically like fight this." And it's like he's like, "What for?" he's like, "What do you mean what for? Like we can go out there and find a cure or something." And then the fucking news that comes on. Scientists have said there's no possible cure for this. She's like, yeah. He's like showing him the phone. He's like, "Yeah, bro, I'm just staying here." He's like, we gotta try to make our own, stick our own claim. He's like, "What are you gonna do that's better than us? We're gonna run out of power." He said, "I literally have everything I need here until that all goes bad and blah blah blah." Like this, hella making a good ass point. He's like, "Are you really gonna stay here?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm staying here. Fuck that. I'm not going out there." Try to make him. He's like, and I was like, I thought about it. I was like, "Hey, no cap though. Like, granted, like I would try to survive, but it's like I don't get the point of like I'm gonna go out into the woods and learn how to hunt animals to survive forever." It's like, listen,
yeah, fam, you can do it forever, but it's long to do it forever, fam. Like, I'll try
like
experiment, but just take man.
Like in the movie, Don't Breathe, and Quiet Place. You gonna go fucking try to have a whole kid and shit?
That's what I was thinking. I could
Why would I bring a kid into the world?
Exactly. That's dumb.
I agree with that. I ain't trying to have a kid, fam. Are you fucking wild? Like in that scenario, bro, that's a big yikes.
It's like, what's the point of living at that point if you're not gonna pass on the seed?
I want to live.
I'm saying, what do you live for? To live to die?
Fam, I don't live to have a kid right now, fam. Why am I living to have a kid in fucking a zombie apocalypse or some shit, bro? Like, you wild.
I lie, it's true, fam. This ain't Naruto.
Like, you think I'm just gonna be like, do you know what, yeah? It's a zombie apocalypse. Fuck it, let's have a kid. Like, nah, fam.
You could fight them off. If I have 20 more kids.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we all live to pass something on, you know, whether that be kid, knowledge, legacy, whatever.
I'll pass my wisdom on to other survivors.
What do you pass it on?
I'll pass my wisdom to other survivors. I'll pass it on. If I got kids, I'll pass it on to them. I ain't having no more kids from. That's done.
Can you imagine how entertaining my YouTube
STDs.
channel would be if I was the only person able to make YouTube channels?
Everyone
Watches
zombies.
Everyone would watch it. Yeah, you'd have like.
That's a big untapped market. You don't know anything about it, fam. I'll be sitting there playing Warzone and winning every game.
That reminds me of Warm Bodies.
Oh fuck! I'm joking, by the way. Although it would be popping.
Alright, guys, I want to intersect. What are we doing here?
Well, you know what? I feel like this is a good contextualized time to talk about focus because we didn't have any focus at the beginning of this podcast.
Not at all. What are we in an
Oh.
hour?
It's been an hour.
It's good, bro. It's been good banter, you know. Good communication. But guys, let's add a little bit of structure here. We got some topics. And I remember I wanted to talk to you guys. I talked about before the podcast. I sent it to my man Stay Ghosted. I know he's in here. About what's it?
Focus.
Musashi.
Your focus needs more focus.
Right to
Oh,
win.
focus.
You ever watch Karate Kid?
Not a long time ago.
Who's
Focus.
Musashi?
I don't remember Karate Kid at all.
One of those Musashi Kishimoto.
Yeah, like Miyamoto Musashi, and he has like his 21 precepts. and his 21 precepts are like basically ways of like a way of life to be like the most focused you could be. And I'm gonna read some of them because I wanted to talk to you guys about um them a little bit. So I'm not gonna go too deep into like who Musashi was, because pretty simply put, he was like a samurai and like one of the best samurais and like one of the most like enlightened, you might say, samurais who later became a ronin, which is basically a samurai who doesn't have a lord. And he went while he was living like this lonely life, this life of solitude. He wrote books. He was also an artist, but he wrote books. And one of the books he talks about is 21 precepts for life. Like I said, I'm not gonna go to all of them, but I wanted to ask you guys' opinion about some of them, because some of them are like, they're not all crazy, but like, so like his first one is accept everything just the way it is. You know, that's simple. We all know that. And it's like, do not seek pleasure for its own sake. We all know, we know that's like the shit that we hear nowadays, as we're going back into like these minimal ways. But it's some of his later ones that I wanted to talk more on, where it's like, so there's one which probably doesn't affect you guys too much, but being Americans, I know it's a little bit crazy. It's the how do you say? Do not collect weapons or practice with weapons beyond what is useful. And like, granted, it's like it's a random one, but it's like, I guess as an American, a lot of people. I don't know if you guys. I think you said you've been to America, right? Viva?
Yeah.
You know, a lot of motherfuckers just have guns to have guns.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
Like literally, everybody has a gun just to have it. And
It's standard, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
And it's
how many people do you know? How many people do you know that have a gun? as an American.
I'll say this: every family that I know has at least one gun.
There you go.
The amount of guns in the thing is about equal to the population. America.
Huh?
Guns there. The amount of guns there in
probably
America is round about the same as the amount of the population. Obviously, I'm not saying it's distributed evenly, but
I know a family who has like 6 guns. They have like a cowboy repeater hanging up. They have another gun. They have ARs and pistols like galore, and they make their own ammunition, which just blows my fucking mind, because I didn't even know it was a thing. They're like
we don't need to divest into that, but like,
but
yeah.
how do they do
it
it?
was
What's their name?
Want me to teach you guys? Just kidding, no. But
The idea of owning an AR just fucking baffles me, fam.
and then technically it's semi-automatic, but the fun fact, the difference between a semi-automatic and an automatic AR is like one piece. It's like one part that you have to buy, and you can literally still buy. They just can't sell it to you. Anyways, but yeah, it's these things about like focus, and it was like, so I'm gonna read them off real quick. I just want to read them all off real quick. 1, accept everything just the way it is. 2, do not seek pleasure for its own sake. 3, do not under any circumstances depend on a partial feeling, which to me, that's real shit. Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. Be detached from desire your whole life long. Do not regret what you have done. Never be jealous. Never let yourself be saddened by a separation. Resentment and complaint are appropriate neither for oneself or others. Do not let yourself be guided by the feeling of lust or love. In all things, have no preferences. Be indifferent to where you live. Do not pursue the taste of good food. Do not hold on to possessions you no longer need. Do not act following customary beliefs. Do not collect weapons or practice with weapons beyond what is useful. Do not fear death. Do not seek to possess either goods or feet. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Or basically goods or money for old age. 19. Respect Buddha and the gods without counting on their help. 20. You may abandon your own body, but you must preserve your honor. And 21. Never stray from your way.
I think the main one that I liked was the thing light of yourself and deep of the world or something.
Heavy.
Mm-hmm. Think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world.
That's hot.
And I'm gonna ask you guys,
one.
like, I want to ask you, like we said, which one stuck out to you? Like you said, Vive already said that one stuck out to you. Was there another one?
For me,
Yeah.
I can't lie, my brain got lost after that because I was so like I was clued in on that one, and I was just like, oh shit, and I started thinking about like how I like to see things, etc. And also
Where-
the
So post it in chat,
wait.
Ruzi,
Post the whole thing in chat.
or some sort of reference so people can see, read, and we can, because there's 21. I can't remember 21.
I'll post them all right now. Don't worry.
I think the other one was the don't be saddened by a relationship or something like that.
Don't be saddened by a separation.
Don't be saddened by a separation. I think that's cool as well, because then it kind of like opens your mind to the thought process of like how separations occur and if there's a purpose to them in that scenario.
And the thing about that too is like he simplified it because separation doesn't mean like obviously like I think separation.
It means like all sorts of things.
Yeah, it's like because somebody even explained the concept of like separation from money. You know, don't be saddened that that you I have this amount of money, now I have this amount of money. Don't be saddened by that. You know, you gotta basically like respect it. And I was like, damn, that's tight.
Yeah, I like that.
I wanted to know pretty much that. Yeah, like how do you guys feel about that? I know you said what made it the think lightly of yourself and deep about the world. Why did that have one? Why would that one have you stuck?
I mean, like it didn't have me stuck as such. I think it made me deep how I like to think about things, because if you take yourself lightly, then you're normally at like kind of peace of mind. And if you're able to do that, and then you can think deeply about the other things that happen. So, for example, like my experience with art and appreciating what people can create, I like to think deeply about that. I think deeply about the fucking rain, fam, and how awesome that is. Like just as a concept. I know it makes me sound like a fucking hippie, but like for me, that's kind of like sick.
You're for sure a hippie.
But I think looking at yourself and kind of seeing the lighter side of things and not taking it into too deeply, and then kind of appreciating the other side of things, like what else in life is happening around you. And I like thinking deeply about other shit than me, basically.
I respect that. What about you, Sly? Which one stuck out to you?
I was gonna say you actually was gonna put all of them in there. I meant like send a link to like a website that had them, but it's up to you if you wanna.
I'm putting them all in there, but I'm gonna send a link too.
It's up to you. Sorry, to address Mo quickly, the topic is about someone Ruzi was talking about, Miyamoto Musashi, and his 21 rules of life. Is it life?
It's 21 precepts of Daikado.
21 precepts of Daikado. And he's put them all in there.
The fuck is Daikado? I'll send you guys the wiki link. Shout out to. Remember when wiki wasn't a reputable source?
Yeah, they're all fucking liars.
He basically done the work for us. Anyway, the one that probably stuck out to me is third one. So do not under any circumstance depend on partial feeling.
That's the one that sticks to me, bro. That one gets me.
Yeah.
Cause especially when you think about what partial feeling actually means, that one's not.
Yeah, I think especially in what we like view today and what we see in society today, like I feel like that one is crazy. And I think my life of recent, I've been more like whatever I feel in the moment is how I want to act or thing. But I guess that kind of challenges that notion, because partial feelings, one, they're not really true to you. And to me, how I interpret it is they're temporary, and you then act or sort of seek that, you're never gonna find fulfillment because it is partial. It's not whole. You know what I mean? So for me, it's just that one sticks out the most, probably because it is relevant to my life at the moment and what I've been thinking about of recent and what I've learned of recent.
Makes sense. Well, especially like So like I said, the idea of the precepts was like one of like to have like basically like extreme focus, like because like obviously his goal was to hone his craft as a samurai, because obviously that's what keeps him alive, but also like be present in the world that he lives in. So it's about like having that focus. So a lot that's why a lot of his precepts, like the one where it says don't no longer possess things that you have no longer like don't possess things that you no longer have need for. That's one that a lot of people like. I think about that shit all the time. Like I have like this shit. It's like, why do I have this broken camera? Sentimental, whatever. But it's like, why do you have it if you don't? You can't do it. I'm not gonna get it fixed. I'm not gonna take the time to fix it.
I was gonna say, have you noticed? Yeah, you see something, yeah, and you think I have no use for it. As soon as you get rid of it, yeah, some use case for it pops up like a week later. You're like, shit.
But then do you not think there's like some quite obvious ones in that stance?
What do you
So
mean?
like if for nostalgia reasons people keep things, but at the end of the day like they have no fucking value.
But that's the thing is like, and I guess you got to remember the lifestyle he was living. As a Ronin, you live alone and you're traveling across the countryside.
Yeah, so
So to have a bunch of, yeah, so to have all that, to have like, yeah, it's cool to have a scrapbook, but it's like if you don't, what's the point? Basically, burdening. You get to a point you're burdening yourself. I'm trying to move out my apartment and I have all this shit. It's like, well, if you don't need 95% of the shit, why do you have it?
Also, I think the part where he says you no longer need, I think the need part is important because it's not just about having stuff. Because see, it's like Ryan said about nostalgia, that may provide something that at this particular time you may need. Do you know what I mean? Even though it's got no use case, or like in terms of practicality, in terms of what you may be going through at the moment, it may still, in a sense,
yeah, but that then probably conflicts with one of the other 20.
Well, no, because like if I had a picture of my mom, I mean, obviously I could see myself needing that and not conflict with anything else, because the picture of my mom keeps me centered in a certain way.
I guess no, that's fair. That's a good response.
I guess it's probably more or less things like, why do you need 2 cars? Like shit like that.
That's fucking facts. I can even think of like really basic shit, which is like I have 4 HDMI cables. I don't fucking need 4 HDMI cables. Like I mean, like in my drawer, unopened HDMI cables that I literally just hit. I don't know why. I have no idea where they came from either. I might need 4. Yeah, I might need 4, but I don't. Fam, they're in the packaging. I have a fucking Elgato that I don't need. It's in the packaging. Never opened it.
Especially when they explain it like this. He's explaining like this too. You're hoarding that when you can give it to someone else who might need it now. If that makes any sense. Which is like a lot of my
loan it out to man like Sly.
Because like I first started streaming on a PS4, and I got a PS4 camera, and obviously when I got my laptop, I got a webcam, and I gave my camera to fucking Squid. Yeah, because I was like, I don't need it anymore. I was trying to get rid of that camera for a minute, and I was like, honestly, if you actually want to do it, bro, I'll just give it to you. And he's like, no, you're good. I was like, bro, you can actually come get this camera. Like, I don't fucking need it no more. Like, to me, it's like sitting in the drawer. It's like, what the fuck am I keeping the camera sitting in the drawer for the day I might get a PSVR? Like, get real.
And that's like Ryan, you know him, man like Nova Blade, my friend Victor. This guy said, this Elgato situation's been going on for a long time, not between me and Ryan, but I'm talking 3-4 years ago. This guy was like, hey, do you want an Elgato? He goes, yeah, I got one. I was like, yeah, okay, cool, bro. To this day, I'm still waiting.
So got that
every few months, I would say, where's that go? But what happened is now, Fatal came and Fatal wanted to stream. And bear in mind, Victor really said, yeah, that you can have the Elgato. The Elgato is yours. Like, I'll package whatever. And then Fatal came and he wanted to stream. And it's like, really and truly, I don't need this Elgato. I know Fatal will put much better use to it. I was like, bro, you have it. I don't know how. He asked and he got it straight away. Maybe because they're cousins. I don't know. And I was waiting 4 years. But like, that sort of stuff where we want life to be easy. We want life to be calm. So it's like, we own a lot of stuff we don't need just in case. Maybe it might something happens. I don't know. Majority of the time, I don't think that time ever really comes. Or it's not something you need. Do you know what I mean? It's not a necessity. In a sense where an alternative would do just fine. But I guess we live in a place where people just want stuff easy. If they have something and it can be of use, that's it, they're keeping it. It's not like, oh yeah, later on I'll go get it. It's just not how it works, I guess. And I think with a lot of these rules, I think they're good, but they require everyone's cooperation.
What do you mean?
For example, do not collect weapons or practice with weapons beyond what is useful.
Well, this is obviously a way of life for yourself.
Yeah. And
I was like, yeah, if you don't got no gun and you gotta be. I mean, obviously you can be, but like you said, beyond what is useful.
If it ain't useful, don't have it. So it's just saying if it's useful for you, then keep it. If it's not, then don't.
Yeah.
So like, if you're hunting for your food, then sure.
But I'm saying in the sense of like modern. I want to compare it to like modern. That's the only reference I've got really for it.
Yeah.
I feel
well,
like
if you were in the ends and there was like gang war happening in East London, and you needed a weapon, you'd go for like a knife or something.
So would you say that America's current gun crisis, owning a gun is useful?
Because no. I mean it in the sense, but then I can sympathize, and I'm gonna sound like a dickhead here. I can sympathize if I was in like a heavily like gunned down area. I don't know how it works in America, right? I've never been in these areas, so like someone can tell me if I'm wrong. I.e.,
everybody got a gun here, bro. There is no heavy. Everybody got a gun.
But I mean, like, if there's if there's a gang war going on, and like, if I want to go to the fucking superstore or some shit, and there's a chance that some other guy is gonna pull a gun on me, I would rather have one than not, low key.
Well, it's the thing, like I said, so like my uncle lives in a good part of town, and he had to pull a gun on someone in his front yard because they were trying to rob him. But it's like I said, it's one of those things where, like, obviously because in America guns are so accessible, having a gun is not the problem. It's a fact of why are you collecting mini guns?
Yeah, and it's also the fact that the law stipulates that you can have one. So to be on a level playing field, you feel that you need to have one, basically. Because you don't know if the person that you're coming up against has one or doesn't. So you'd rather have one and not need it than like that. That's a lot of people's arguments for it. I'm completely against gun law, by the way, but like that is a lot of people's justification.
I'm not just kidding though.
Where they're like, if I don't have one and the other guy does, I'm dead before I've even thought about it.
I'm gonna run toilet, guys. One sec.
Well, I was gonna talk about because I don't want to harp on it too long and steal from other topics time. I was gonna talk about where's it at? Fucking just caught my eye. Fucking let it slip. Oh, and all things have no preferences, because that one is also because like especially because like I thought about it at first. I had to read it a couple times. Like I don't fucking get when he means he says it. And all things have no preferences, but it's like in all situations have no preference of like how you either want it to go or like what you want.
Just let it happen.
Well, yeah, kind of. So it's like, say I'll use an example. I'll use your situation. Say you want to make YouTube videos and your preference is Adobe Premiere.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, if you can't use if you go say you gotta travel and you're not allowed to use Adobe Premiere where you travel at. I don't know why, but the reason is like you said, you don't have it. The person who's there doesn't have it, but you have your hard drives. If you have a preference, it's gonna affect your ability to create videos now, because like you obviously your preference was Adobe Premiere. Whereas you had no preference, like okay, I'm just gonna use fucking Sony Las Vegas or whatever the fuck it's called.
Just and to get it through.
Yeah, and I was like thinking about that. I was like, that's actually like a good ass like.
But then, do you think like? I think everyone has like a natural preference to things, though, don't they?
Oh no, 100%.
Like my preference would be. Like you can put that into life scenarios where your preference would be for something to go a particular way, and I can appreciate that. Yeah, you shouldn't be like disappointed if it doesn't go that way, but you still have the preference for it to go that way. Do you know what I mean?
And that's what he's talking about. Like that, like basically you want to keep the mentality of like not having a preference. You get me? Which I mean, like I said, it's not an easy task, but it's the one that sticks out to me because I think that's why it sticks out to me because I know it's not an easy task to do. But I think it's kind of nutty, like. If you can like get that off, because it's like, because I think about a lot of stuff that stopped me from doing stuff because I had a preference. Like example, like, so I don't have, when it comes to transportation, that's one of the things I don't have a preference in. If I got to ride the bus or drive or ride a bike or whatever, I've done it all. So I have no preference in that. But some people is like, oh, if I can't drive there or get a ride there, I'm not going.
Yeah. That's fair. Yeah. That's a good example.
So it's like stuff like that. It's like, man.
I'm kind of interested. Sorry to go back. What Arbs is saying, that Chicago outlawed guns, but its murder rate is next level.
That's all education.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, just getting rid of the guns doesn't solve the problem.
Well, because the problem isn't guns. Like you said, they got rid of guns in places where you are, and they still have stabbings.
Yeah, crime's always going to be there.
I don't think the weapons people use is ever the problem.
I think guns create a scenario for more destruction, which is why people don't want them, because there's no need for that level of destruction in the hands of civilians. Because, like, why does anyone need an AR? Like, genuinely, like, and that then creates the ability for someone to then go and shoot up a school or whatever it is. Whilst in the UK, you don't have that ability, so that level of crime doesn't exist, but still crime exists. So it's more about outrule the guns, and yes, the crime level will still be high. The crime level in Chicago has always been high. So it's more about outlawing the guns so that extent of crime can't happen anymore, and then they can figure out how to progress from there, I guess.
Yeah, so the Chicago thing, I had to learn more about it, but like I said, Chicago's has been in a predicament. Like I said, it's just, at this point, it's just like kind of like took its own course. But for a long time, like, America turned a blind eye to Chicago, just let them do whatever they want. So now it's at a point where it's like a lifestyle, like the life they live. Because people, like, some people trip out, they go to Chicago and they're like, oh shit, look, it's good here. Like, and then there's like a you go to South Chicago, South Side Chicago, and that's where it's like, ooh, because it's like a city, and then the South Side is like impoverished, if I remember correctly. So it's like, it's a bigger issue.
Do you think, do all guns have serial numbers? They don't, do they?
Yeah, they do.
So can all
legal
guns be?
They're all tracked. You can track if I shoot somebody with a gun and they find the gun, they can track the gun back to me. So you're supposed to be that way.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like the American gun problem won't be solved by removing guns. I feel like it's too ingrained in culture, in a sense, to remove all guns. I don't think like the amount of guns there is. The amount, pardon?
So they're never gonna give up all their guns anyway.
Yeah, they won't give up, and I don't think that will solve the issue at all, because it's so ingrained in their culture. People find guns; they will find a way to get guns because that's what they know. Like, if you take away all the guns and you ban it, what they know is guns. So they'll find a way. There's already illegal guns out there, and I don't think it's will solve anything.
I don't think that's necessarily true though, because in the UK, guns used to be a regularity, and then they got outlawed. The only difference is that the time since it can happen. I agree with you. I don't think it solves the issues. I don't think it solves the issue at all. But I think in respect to gun law, there's no necessity for it, I think, is the main thing. Like, and yes, I agree with you that a lot of right-wing Americans won't get rid of their guns. But like, and I think the fact that they've created an industry for it creates barriers that the law don't want to fuck with.
Well, you know, the thing too I was learning about. So like, this is gonna be, I'm gonna use this as a segue out of this because this obviously this topic's a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, obviously it's guns, but so I remember somebody was talking about it's kind of like based off that movie Inception too. The best way to like handle a situation, like to basically like to it's like create a culture, I guess you can say. If you remove guns, you can never remove the culture of guns. Guns has become a culture.
That's what I was saying
in America.
That's why.
And like that's like the only way to fully get rid of guns is to change the culture of America. Like, and I'm not saying it's not possible, but it takes a lot. It takes a lot. Like, So like that's like my biggest thing with something like that. It's like you have to change the whole culture and like belief system of people who got guns and why they have guns, which is no easy sell.
Just with the amount of guns they actually have, that's what I'm saying. I feel like it may, like Ryan said, stop the magnitude of severity of the situation, or like, yeah, you can't shoot up a school or something like that. But
yeah,
the culture's still there. They will just do it in another means. You know what I mean?
I personally would prefer that though. Like, I can't lie to you. Yeah. So like, one that always sticks with me is Woozy. Did you ever have to do a drill if a shooter came into your school? Like, did you ever have to do a drill for
we
that?
actually had shooters come on the campus before.
Yeah, that's fucking madness. Like in the UK, the most I've done is a fire drill, fam.
Oh, the lockdown drill, yeah.
Like, but that's like, and we do that every like 6 months or something. The school has to test its fire system and do a fire drill. That is like mandatory in the UK. That's it, fam.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I couldn't imagine like sending my kid to school or me going to school and them going, okay, guys, we're gonna do a shooting drill. This is for if a gunned man comes or a woman comes into our building and starts shooting up the school, what you've got to do. That to me is like fucking ludicrous. That's on the level of like fucking nuclear bomb shit, where they're like, oh, okay, we're doing a drill for the nuclear bombs, like, because if whoever decides, yeah, I know they do. Like, we don't do that either.
With some water.
But when did you have them drills, Ruzi?
Huh?
School.
Did you have them drills, Ruzi?
What, the nuclear or the lockdown?
The guns.
Lockdown drill? Yeah, we had the lockdown drill, but we also had situations where people actually came on campus. But see, the lockdown drill is, granted, worst case scenario is a gun, but lockdown drill was just, if it was just some random that we don't know who it is, you immediately go on lockdown because you don't, like you said, you don't know if he has a gun or not.
See, I feel like we don't have them drills in the UK because I don't think in Africa
you only stab so many people.
We only stab so many people, but I don't think we've had that many incidents on like comparable to America where someone's come onto a school and chefed up a load of kids. So I reckon if that did happen,
that's the point though, is because we don't have guns. So
no, I'm not about guns. I'm telling you, Ryan, if there was suddenly some sporadic epidemic of people going onto going onto schools and stabbing up a load of people, we would adopt drills. It's not just about guns; it's the act.
Yeah, but
like Ruzi said, if a stranger came on campus, it didn't matter if a stranger came, they had drills for going on lockdown. That wasn't to say the stranger had a gun. That was just in general.
Yeah, okay, no, the lockdown drill is like you said, like Sly is saying, it's not based on guns. It's based on some people are on campus who aren't supposed to be on campus, because that lockdown is to prevent kidnapping, basically keep the kids safe in any situation. Guns are just the extreme. Is the fact that it's
100%. I'm saying though that in the UK, I agree with Dance. It's not in the culture of the UK for that to be like a thing, I guess. But I'm saying that if you implement the ability of guns being there, opens the availability for someone to be like, do you know what? Yeah, because I don't even need a gun to go into a school and to cause issues. I can just go into a school and kidnap a kid because they're all going to go into lockdown anyway. No one's going to fucking come to me. Like,
let me say this.
I think it creates a mindset where people are like, oh, I can do this because I have, well, it's in our system where I can get away with it, I guess.
Let me say this. I feel like it's not specific to schools because it's really specific to mass areas. Because in the UK, remember you guys had the bombing at Ariana Grande's concert.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that was all kids mostly. And like, I don't know the situation behind that, but like, to me, it's not really like, granted, they choose the schools not because it's kids, they choose the schools because it's a lot of people in one place that they know are going to be there. So that's why you see malls get shot up, concerts get shot up and blown up, and fucking, I think Vegas, they had the Vegas shooter in the fucking window or whatever they had to take out. So it's like, granted, I get you saying like with the guns, it still be a thing, but like my biggest thing is that at the end of the day, yeah, you can take away the guns, but that's not gonna. It's still a mental and culture of I feel pain, so I'm gonna cause pain to other people. That needs to be solved in America, because we've like that's obviously the big thing with oppression. I'm not gonna hurt you physically, but I'm gonna make sure that you get nowhere in life. To me, that's worse. I'd rather you kill me. What the fuck? You're gonna make sure I never get anywhere in life and suffer for the rest of my life and have kids in this world?
That's what
Instead of just killing me.
I guess like they're all terrorist attacks at the end of the day, right? If you look at them like bluntly, that's what they are. So when the media is like, a white man walked into a school and shut out, no family, he's a fucking terrorist, he's a dickhead. Like and that needs to be recognized. So I think I can agree with you there. Like the Ariana one was because in that arena in Manchester, they didn't have the security that they do in places like London, which is like the metal detectors and shit. So the concert ended, and the guy walked into the plaza, and he could just walk into the doors and do what he needed to do. But then at the same time, in the O2 arena, which is the biggest like arena like that in London, you can walk into the plaza, no problem. So that's still available in London, and if the guy had a gun, then that's like 100,000 times potentially worse than what he could carry with a bomb. So like
100%.
I think like these things happen on different scales.
That's what I was saying. Like I definitely agree. You're right. Like obviously, if you didn't have guns, you can't. It's harder to wipe out 500 to 1,000 people with a bomb when you have a drum clip fucking AR.
Exactly. Like a handheld bomb isn't going to kill, like, I don't know the numbers on it, but like, let's say 100 odd people, it'll kill like 100 odd people. But if I'm chilling with an AR and I'm spraying down, like, it can be one bullet per person.
You've all played Call of Duty. You've all played the fucking airport mission in Call of Duty.
The terminal mission.
But remember,
maybe a bit too many times, so I was getting kill streaks, bro.
Bro, I actually never played that.
You ever called the AC-130 in that mission? I done it, bro.
I never played that part until I got older, because the first time I played it, it said like it asked you at the beginning before you start the campaign.
Yeah.
You want to see sensitive content? I said no. And I remember everybody's talking about this fucking mission. I was like, bro, what fucking game is that?
It's just,
like,
it's just you're going up in the escalator, and it's just like, remember, no rushing. Bang, shit goes on.
That was a fun mission, but the message
it's fucked up. No, like I can't lie to you. The first time I'm like, whoa, and I'm like fucking just laying down this woman who's just chilling, and I'm sitting, I'm like, oh wow, and I'm like, this is crazy, just holding down R2, like walking through a fucking airport.
I saw you give you like an LMG as well. They're taking the piss.
Yeah, you have like an MG42, and you just walk through an airport.
I think the thing is like, I think that's one thing I'll say about. So this is kind of a good topic to talk about too. So there's a game coming out, and I can't remember. It's like Attack on Fallujah or something like that.
Fallujah, isn't that a planet in Star Wars?
No, it's a certain mission or something like that. I can't remember, but it's like
ability to quote you anywhere in Star Wars, because he's
I know, right? I'm pretty sure that's right. But it's like a mission, and if I remember correctly, like there's like a whole bunch of like backlash, because it's like one of those like sensitive. I don't remember what happened in the mission. Maybe I should do better research before I try to bring this up. But like, it's a sensitive topic, because like one of those missions where it's like a lot of like, it's like a real ass mission, like some shit went bad, and some game wants to recreate that. It makes me think about No Russian, where obviously like No Russian is one of those things where it's like, how could you put this in the game? But it's like, at the end of the day, this is the real world, which is like fucked. And it's like, granted that's never happened, but it's like, that's like the lengths that people will go to, you know what I'm saying?
And they needed to make it realistic in their eyes, right? Because fuck me, fam, they have nuclear warheads blowing up in fucking random like residential America, and people aren't saying shit. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
The problem is that people could realistically go to an airport and be scared about that, whilst the idea of nuclear warheads blowing up in your face is desensitized, because you're like, Cold War and shit didn't happen, blah 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 blah.
Think about GTA. I'm gonna be like I said on GTA. I'm fucking what the fuck is this? I can't remember the main character's name. Franklin sleeping random people on the street. I'm gonna be on the street now. Every time I see a guy running, oh shit, today's the day.
Yeah, I mean,
today's the day. He's not gonna sleep me.
It's facts. And it's just bullshit shit that you. Well, actually, so this goes into another thing, which is so games allow you to be as fucked up as you want to be. Yeah, and you know that. I don't know about you guys. Well, actually, I probably do know. Serial killer series on like Netflix and stuff like that. Have you ever binge watched one? Just one.
Yeah,
I watched the Ted Bundy one.
The
and
Ted Bundy one.
I watched the was it To Make a Killer or something like that. I haven't been
Yeah,
watching.
yeah. So there are some that are hella interesting, and the ones that are normally hella interesting are like really fucked up serial killers a lot of the time. So
Ted Bundy.
and but then when you deep like the mental state that you're in and the fact that you're watching it because you're interested in the fact that the human mind can go that level. So when you're playing games and you're fucking around on GTA, laying down everyone in the road, it's because in the game there's no consequences to that. So you can sit there and you can go, oh yeah, I'm gonna fuck up this guy, I can fuck up that guy. I've got 3 cops, I'm just gonna kill everyone. And you're not taking into the fact that if you're in a real life situation, blah 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 blah. But then the ability to watch like a serial killer documentary and to kind of deep all that shit that's going on can kind of like blow your brain back and you'll be like, oh fuck, like it's interesting to watch because
Yeah.
it happens. Do you know what I mean?
And you know what I feel like is not fair when they make these claims about GTA desensitizes people.
I was
Blah
gonna say
blah.
that.
You know what's not fair to me with that? I'm gonna name 2 things. One, you're not being fair. It's not fair to say something like that because you got to realize a psychopath is literally a mental like a defect in a sense because it literally means you just don't have any care for for life in general, and you don't have like basically can't like your emotions are just like you can't tap into your emotions.
100%.
From what I remember, that's what a psychopath is. So to say that I'm gonna play a video game and become a psychopath is just like this thing about that. It sounds fucking stupid.
Yeah, it is fucking stupid.
They disrespected actual psychopaths in a sense.
Like that, but that's what I mean, right? Is that like killing someone on a game and all this stuff? You're not doing anything. I find it interesting that people can make that correlation, and they can be like, like fucking going on GTA and laying down fools, being on Call of Duty and killing like numerous people and celebrating when you kill someone, compared to like watching a fucking documentary about Jack the Ripper or some shit who like fucked up and raped people and stuff, and then sitting there going, "Wow, that's interesting." Like,
I don't know about
He
you,
never
man.
got
Yeah.
caught. Jack Ripper never got caught.
Nah, he didn't. I don't know about you, man. Yeah, but when I watch a video of someone getting stabbed in real life or shot, that turns my stomach upside down. Bruv, I can watch Call of Duty, man, them get shot, knifed up, reverse kill finisher
It's
all
not
day,
real.
and it's not real. It doesn't have an effect on me. But if I see that shit in real life, that affects me differently. I've been playing games my whole life. I've been playing mad games my whole life. You know what I mean? So I don't understand why people try think the two. It's not the same. If anything, games make me more aware of real life dangers. When I play Apex and I'm jumping from a high height, I look away because I'm like, yo, if this is real life, I ain't surviving this drop. There's actually, in a way, games for me have actually made me more sensitive to real life shit because I'm actually determined, yo, this is fake, this shit is real. This shit actually happens, but it doesn't happen or anything like that, but shit is real.
So like Opan said, we had violence way before games. So is it rock and roll causing people to be violent? Like it was like it's to the same point that we're talking about. It's like if basically it's like this: if you got it in you, you gonna do that shit regardless. I mean, granted, yeah, you could say what gaming might be a catalyst, like oh shit, but it's like that's rare. Let's be honest, that's rare because at the end of the day, before this video games, there were still serial murderers, all different things. But I was saying, we complain about my kids playing video games, becoming desensitized to killing people, blah, blah, this, that, and the third. But just like you said, there's people in the SAS, they go to war, kill these people in these gruesome ass ways, come back to normal life. We got these Marines and shit like that. They go torture people, kill people in sick ass ways. We've obviously heard. Like, I don't know about in the UK and in the EU, but in America, the stories are coming out where like some of the people were like actually like out there like going to villages like raping people and shit like that. Like and then coming back to America, then to walk around like normal people. It's like, so you're okay with someone becoming a fucking serial murderer on the guise of I'm doing it for America, to then come back and like live in the normal world, and you're more nervous about the kid who's in his room playing video games. That
Yeah,
you're like,
and
oh,
also as well, like they're employed to do it.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They get paid to do it. They come back, and a lot of them get shitty ass jobs where like you're working in a fucking office job, or you're fucking working as like a janitor or some shit. Like,
Bruv, people just love to not dash blame, but they don't take responsibility. Alright, fair enough. Call of Duty exists. You don't like it, don't let your kid watch it. It's as simple as, oh, don't
like
let
Australia,
your kid
ban
play it.
that shit.
It's just a bit like just stop playing. You and the household, stop that shit.
Yeah.
If a kid is disobedient, that's something else entirely. That's nothing to do with the game.
Okay.
Like,
Can I talk about that?
Go on.
well, I'm okay. Go on. I want to
Go
go
ahead,
into
man.
my
What are you
topic after, but go on.
What-
The man folding his legs.
I just want to talk about that topic of like how parents always shift the blame away from themselves when the kids do something. I think that's like my biggest pet peeve with life.
Bro, I can't even lie. They do it a lot in politics as well, and a lot of movements. I don't want to say too much, but a lot of left do that, and I know it's a bit way bigger than household, but go on.
What I don't use that one because it's the one that everybody can relate to. Like, we've all seen that bad kid, and their parents act like they had no handling in how that kid came out to be that way, which to me is the wildest thing ever. I don't know why little Jimmy did that to Timmy. He's such a nice kid at home. It's like, and then they try to blame it on something else, like, oh, it's because the kids he was hanging out with and blah, blah, blah. But like Sly said, you know he's hanging out with the kids. Why don't you stop him hanging out from the kids? Like, this is all learned behavior. And I think shit like that like grinds in my gears when parents are like that.
Oh, there was a book I was reading called David and Goliath. Malcolm Gladwell, sick guy. I think it was that one. It might have been another book. I don't know. But they were basically looking at privileges in a sense. And it was these. Sorry, I need to plug my headphones in. There was two families, right? And they were both raising kids. So they were trying to say like ethnic minorities and all these minorities, their kids are doing worse in school, blah, 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 blah. Now, this guy looked at the way these parents were raising them. So he had a working class family, and he had a middle class family. And he looked at the way these kids were being raised. And what he saw was that in a working class family, they don't take that much responsibility. Give me one second, let me plug this in. They don't take that much responsibility for their kids' growth. They don't encourage them, don't really listen to them, and they just take everything for how it is. So, say for example, little Timmy, all of a sudden he's a little bit good at football. Oh, I don't know why he's so good at football, blah, blah, blah. He's so good. And they leave it. That's it, done. But where you see the middle class family, oh, he's good at football. Let's send him to training. Let's get him doing this. Let's do it. And then they nurture that. And then what they found out was the middle class kids, because the parents were proactive, they encouraged free thought. That's another thing. They allowed the children to think and allowed the children to make decisions from younger. They encouraged free thought. I'm busy, mum. I'm busy. Took an interest in... Mom, come on, please. You're too busy
His
for your
mum's
mum.
not part of the story, by the way, guys.
Yeah. You're too busy for your mum. What do you come on? It sound like the Frozone thing. Anyway,
I can't even lie, yeah. Sorry to interrupt, yeah. But the way that Dance was saying that, yeah, it was his face didn't change, his facial expressions didn't change. There was no break in the sentence, fam. I was lost.
Trailer thought. Right, so when they take interest in their kids, when something happens, like say the kid shows talent, they take interest and they try and nurture that. They give them free thought, allow them to make decisions. So when they grow up, they are much more confident in the workplace. They are much more confident around other people. They find it easier to socialize. They just find it easier in life in general. They tend to have like a skills and all that. They do have some downsides, but majority of them are good. So then when you look at the lower class family, oh, little Timmy's good at football. Oh, that's great. And that's it. So he can't really capitalize on his talents. he can't really grow and nurture that, they're not really learning their skills because the parents are sort of like, oh, it's up to the schools, or it's the teacher's problem or the teacher's responsibility. You need to take responsibility for your own kids. And I mentioned race before, but I didn't mention the families. The lower class family was a white family, and the middle class was actually a black family. So it wasn't like anything to do with race. It's literally
Oh, yeah,
to do.
we've touched on that before. It's all about poverty
Yeah.
in that respect. It's nothing
But-
to do with
Yeah, because
what
even
colour you
so,
are.
the
even
simple
like
responsibility of your kids, that is probably the biggest factor in how they turn out. But people don't want to, especially people in poverty, they don't want to take responsibility for their kids. They leave it up to everything else. They blame everything else. They leave it up to schools. Like, this don't work.
well, like if you think about it in the sense of like what you're talking about, because to tie that back to like what he was talking about, what V was talking about with poverty is like, I know kids who are like way good at sports, but they couldn't play sports because they didn't have insurance. Because in America, if you don't have insurance, you can't play sports because obviously the probability of you getting injured is way higher. So
And they
we're
don't
not
want to be
gonna-
liable for it. Yeah.
yeah, we're not gonna be liable for your kid getting injured and he can't get the care he needs. So if you can't have insurance, you can't play. And that obviously that's a big break because if your parents can't afford healthcare, I don't give a fuck how good Timmy is and Jimmy is at fucking football. They'll never be able to play because no one's gonna take them onto the team.
I actually, I'm sorry. America frustrates me so fucking much. I can't even lie. Yeah, the UK fucks me off for a lot of reasons. Overall, humanity pisses me off, but like the free healthcare thing, fam, drives me up the fucking wall. Because in the UK, yeah, like the opportunities are way fucking less for sports just as a whole, right? So in America, if you're in America, if you're good at sports,
or scholarship
you can get a
purely on that.
scholarship, and your scholarship will, but then your education from the scholarship is like fucking top tier, top tier. Compared to in the UK, a scholarship in the UK is worth fucking nothing in comparison to the US. And if you're really good at sports in the UK, you give up your education.
Yeah, because it's a different job.
Completely different. Whilst in the US, because of the drafts and the way that all works, you have to be in a college education a lot of the time, which means you're a fucking intelligent person. Like footballers in the UK are fucking dumb a lot of the time. And it's not through their own misfortune. It's by the fact that the education system doesn't fucking exist when they're 16 and they're signed for Chelsea or whoever. Like, I'm sorry, that really fucking annoys me. But yeah, I find that fucking mental. Like the fact that because you're from a low income family and you can't afford healthcare, your son could be a fucking all-star, or your daughter could be an all-star. It makes no fucking difference. That's ridiculous.
Well, and that's sort of thing where it's like
the world.
yeah, and that's what
Yeah.
I remember. I learned that at a young age, and I think about it now. Like I haven't thought about this story in a long time, but when I was younger, I read like a short story. I don't even know if it's even a story. It was like an insert on something, and that shit. I think it's like one of those things. One of those moments when you read it, it knocks you back because it talked about race. It talked about the difference between what white parents do, what majority of white parents who have middle to high class living do versus what a lot of middle class and lower African American parents don't do. And like the difference of like it's like a mental difference. It's not really the money. He's like, so say Ryan is the white, obviously because he's white, and I'm black because I'm black. Ryan wants a car, I want a car, like a toy car. In my situation, and according to the story, in my situation, my mom just bought me the car put together. You know what I'm saying? I'm dark white. Wait. My mom just buys me like the fucking car that's in the box, already put together, whatever, and I play with it off the box, whatever. I don't. If it breaks, I have no attachment to this thing, to whatever. Versus your parents, you want a car, your parents buy you a model car that you have to put together, and then once you put it together, you can then play with it. And they said something as simple as that can make a big difference because obviously with me on my car it's disposable. I have nothing. It's just you just bought me a car, I'm gonna play with it. But when I don't want to play with it, I don't want to, I didn't have to work for it. You just gave it to me. Versus for you, it's like if you want to play with it, you actually have to sit down and build this shit. And then you play with it. So then you'd be in a different mindset when it comes to playing with that toy. And they said simple stuff like that is like what causes the disparity, because and that's like that's what they talk about, like how they basically like if you that goes back to like, and I hate to go that goes back to like, you know, the old times or slavery and shit like that. I'm gonna give you this. I'm just gonna give this to you. I'm not gonna teach you how to do it. I'm just gonna give you this, and that's like a lot of that's like a long lasting effect of something like that. I'm just gonna give
That
it to you. I'm not gonna teach you. I'm just gonna give it to you.
that also comes into play for a lot of like spoiled kids
Oh,
who just get
100%.
given fucking everything. They have no life skills. And also as well, on the side of that, the privileged kids in the UK who go to private schools get taught a different curriculum to the public school kids. So in the UK, it's very, very, very standard to go to a public school. Like I went to a public school, Dance went to a public school. Me and Dance have completely different backgrounds, but that's kind of standard in the UK. Private schools, for example, will teach more about creativity and how to lead and create. Like, so for example, a lot of the prime ministers, which is like essentially the equivalent of the president in the UK, will be privately educated and they'll be taught how to lead. Whilst in public schools, you're taught how to follow or how to be part of the cog of the machine of the greater economy.
And you know something,
That's just another example of it.
and I was learning about private schools, and I think private schools, I can't fault private schools because if anything, and granted, like I said, obviously it's because it's a barrier to entry, but there's a private school in my town where it's like I think it's like $2,000 a year or something like that for your kid to go there, which is not a lot, but it is a lot if you're like obviously $2,000 for each kid is a lot of money just for them to go to school. That's not, but then again, like these kids go to school, it's a high school, they get an iPad, they get assigned an iPad which has all their assignments on it. They have a mandatory theology class, which is like a religious class, and like the way they teach their kids is like on a whole nother level. And but it's all because it's private, it's not swayed by what the government curriculum is. It's all swayed by basically the boosters. That's what they call them, the people who fund the school. And some dude explained that he's like, why he sends his kids to private school. He's like, because when I go to a private school, you know obviously you get a more personal connection, and you get a more personal connection, and you know who's going to teach your kid, versus in public school it's just fucking Mrs. White fucking teaching your kid, and she's tired, but she's been tired of teaching for years, versus the dude who goes to the private school is like, I'm teaching this because this is something I believe in. Because a lot of people are like, they don't need to be a teacher, they're just a fucking teacher because I want to pass something on type stuff. And I was like, learning about that's like but it sucks because obviously we'll never get that in public school because people just want the money in public school. I need to pay my bills. So even as much as you love it, it's gonna get to a point where like,
Yeah.
I mean, the bills are tight this year, so the bills are tight this month, so it's gonna affect my performance. And when little fucking, I know Jimmy needs a little bit more attention, but the effort is gonna take to put Jimmy a little bit to give him back to where everybody else is at. I'm just not willing to put that time in right now. So the next teacher gonna have to deal with Jimmy, but the next person doesn't deal with Jimmy, and it progresses on and stuff like that. So I think that's crazy to me.
Apparently, there's a proven, or not proven, I guess, but there's a sort of level or amount of kids in a classroom that's most optimal. And like a lot of 20. People is 20, so I think it's 18 or 20 something. And a lot of people would think, oh, the less kids, the better. That when I grew up, it was like private school. Oh yeah, the less kids there are, the better. That's what I always heard. But it's actually not true. Actually, having less kids could be quite bad for them. Well, not optimal. I'm not gonna say bad. But I don't think private schools are a problem at all. I don't think they are. I think
they're not a problem. They're not a problem. I'm saying they're a catalyst to better education. It's a different type of education.
And that's what he's saying. He's like, a lot of people go to more. Basically, if you go to a private school, you're more likely to succeed than 100%. If you went to a public school.
Yeah,
like a lot. Like the margin is high.
I feel like every household, be a private school, fam. Personally.
No, 100%. You're right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you're 100% right.
I'm not saying this, but like, I wish people would stop focusing on private schools. Yeah, that has a big effect. Don't get me wrong. But they are not the only institutions that you can learn from. I mean, and
I think was it Woozy that said he went to Saturday school?
Must have been glad.
Did Woozy go to Saturday school?
Me?
Yeah, did you go to Saturday school?
I went to Saturday and Sunday school. What about it?
I remember you telling me though that you learned a lot through the Saturday school that you weren't learning in the week. Or am I wrong?
I think I might be someone else.
That was it, right? That's one of the facts I wanted to say, right? So another reason
Sorry,
why...
Ruzi, if I got you mixed up there, by the way, bro. I've definitely heard that before.
No, I
Maybe
have as well. I have
that's
as
not
well.
me.
One of the reasons why kids in poverty tend to also do worse in school, say like in the same school, so you have middle class kid in the same school, or better well off, and you have like a poor kid in the same school. Goes back to what I've been saying anyway, but they were actually saying, yeah, say we talk about minorities, because they tend to be poorer. They actually do the same, if not better, when in school. The advantage that the middle class kids have is the time off of school. So you know, America, you have your holidays, which is, was it, a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
They said in that time, say it was IQ, there's some sort of measurement. The poorer kids, they actually went down. It started falling. But the middle class kids, their ones didn't, because usually their parents, if they didn't send them to some other holiday school, I don't know what you guys call it there, they were always keeping them on their toes, teaching them stuff that maintain that level. So when it came to the next year, not like these kids were more, it's just the fact that the other kids who didn't sort of maintain that cognitive ability through the holidays, their performance actually lowered. During the academic year, they start off slower, they slowly start to build up, but they never reached that potential that they would have if they had that sort of like continuous stream of education. So I think one of the solutions they were saying was stop such a big holiday. Don't have this such big holiday in the middle, especially in America where it's good couple months. Don't have that. In the UK, we have 6 weeks between it. Then we have like little 1 weeks here, 2 weeks here. If you keep that constant stream of education, those who don't have access to like, or those who don't have a household to education at home, won't fall behind as much.
Well, and I will say this too, because I mean, to add to that point, because you're right, but to add to that point is in the public system, and at least in my area in California, there's a thing called AP classes, which just means advanced placement. And the reason for those classes is basically not only to teach you the curriculum, but also in that same time that everybody else is learning their curriculum, to then also add application to how that curriculum could be applied to. So like in English class, you would learn about how to break down a book and find the theme, stuff like that. But in AP classes, you would learn how to break down. You basically read the book at a faster pace and then like heavily break down the book and like actually like apply like work in a group to like then create a synopsis based off of that. Like, and when it comes to breaks, and that's why a lot of people hate AP. Like, this is why me personally hate AP classes. During the break, you have an assignment throughout the break. So while everybody else is like doesn't have anything, if you're in AP and you're for sure gonna be in AP the next year, they give you a sheet before you leave school. There's a sheet of stuff like you have to read like it's like six. It's like no, it's probably might be a hyperbole. It's probably like 3 books you have to read. There's like an essay you have to make and like shit like that. Like shit like basically like shit that keeps you like mentally going while you're on break. And like obviously people who take AP classes, like they when it gets to their senior year, they're like 4.0, 4.2 students, and the other kids are like depending on it ranges from 2.0 to fucking like 3.8 or whatever. So it's like I said, you got a point, but like I said, I think to take it back to the beginning is like it all goes back to your household in the day, because even when it comes to simple as homework, I know I got friends, parents where like kid had homework and I didn't even know you had homework until it's too late. It's like he hasn't been doing his homework for weeks.
Why did
Like,
you
what does he do when he fucking comes home and he comes home and he just fucking does whatever. And it's like, granted, like I said, part of it can be the poverty thing. It's like, okay, the parents were fucking at work when he got home, so there's no one to even watch him like that. But it's like, you got to do your due diligence as a parent. Like, my mom did her due diligence, and she wasn't home when I got home. Like, if she got home later than me, she would make sure you got your homework and then you got the homework in a folder so it could be turned in. I'm like, fuck, she caught me.
Bro, and
yeah, got me, boss.
have you seen that some riots. Was it Houston Mom or something like that, where a kid's out rioting and he's there with a mask on, acting all hard, and his mom comes and slaps him, and he ain't doing shit. So it's like, you could make the case, kids won't do it, bro. They will. Most kids, especially black family, their moms lay down the law more time, and they ain't gonna disrespect mama.
That's one thing. Like I said, my dad could say something to me, and that should go out one ear and out the other. My grandma or my mom say something to me, it's like, all right.
I want to move on to another topic.
Do it.
Slightly related, which is about race-changing characters. Fictional characters, whatever characters, changing their race. For example, a black James Bond. For example, a black Little Mermaid. For example, a white Ghost in the Shell, I can't remember her name, Scarlett Johansson playing every single race. What are you initially? What are you guys' thoughts on that? Because I think, what's her name, Halle Berry. No, not Halle Berry.
Well, they're bringing out a black Cinderella.
A black Cinderella. Mm-hmm. What are you guys' thoughts on that? I'll go first. I don't see the need for it. I don't really want it. I don't really care for it. I don't care to see a black Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid's a white redhead girl. I don't care for them to, like, it doesn't bother. If they do it, they do it. But I'm not gonna be like, yeah, congratulations. Same with James Bond. I don't really care if he's white. What I care about is, if you want to have representation of these other cultures, then get some stories, either some original stories or some stories based on their culture. Don't like force and shoehorn them in other series. For example, look how successful Black Panther was.
Mm-hmm.
Very, 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 very successful, and it was an all-black cast, and it was true and accurate to the comics. Now, I'd rather see, there's a story I want to see, is about like some black man in Japan, like one of the first black men. He was like some samurai, and he was like 6 foot something, so he towered over everyone. I want to see that. I want to see some original stories rather than them taking well-established characters and changing them. Because one of the arguments is, I've got this written down a little bit. One of the arguments is, it's a fictional character in the first place, and it's a fictional universe, which is true. Yeah. Marvel, all the they're not real, so we know of. So therefore, they can be changed. But then, if you take that logic, right, Black Panther can be cast as white, because Black Panther is a fictional character. Wakanda is a fictional location. But
how many people would that piss off? If
that happened,
a lot.
Go mad. And another thing is, say for Mary Jane, she got cast as black. She's Zendaya painting. I don't really care. I don't mind, and it don't bother me. But people grew up knowing and seeing one representation of Mary Jane, and that has been a white redhead girl. So for people to then suddenly see their a childhood character that they know, all of a sudden typecast as something else, is, I think, kind of mad. Because we have enough black superheroes like Storm and Static Shock and Black Panther. But then on the flip side, what's her name? Scarlett Johansson. She played what's that film? Have you seen Ghost in the Shell?
Yeah, I seen Ghost in the Shell. Lita. No, not Lita. I'm smoking dick. What am I smoking about? I know you're talking about
smoking dick.
Yes, that's the phrase. That's a phrase they use for smoking.
Okay.
That's what they call blunts, because it fucks you.
Is that what Young Thug was saying?
Young Thug.
Alright. So one argument I saw, Scarlett Johansson, they were upset saying, why is a white woman playing this character? Ghost in the Shell is literally about how your personality and individuality is like transcends your body. Yeah, it's separate. It transcends your body. Therefore, it doesn't matter what she looks like. Do you see what I mean? But they were outraged by that. So I want to know you guys' thoughts on it. Static Shock is the one. Anyway, go on.
I would say this. I feel like they already have the cheat code when it comes to something like that. I feel like, to me, if you're gonna do that, don't, like, obviously, if you're gonna make a black Little Mermaid, don't call her Ariel. I'm not against it being like a black Little Mermaid, because obviously, like I say, you think about these little girls and little boys. Obviously, they want something they want something they can attach themselves to, even though it's not the best trait to do. But they, as a kid, you see, if I was a black kid who saw a black Superman, I probably would have liked Superman, but I never liked Superman. I like Green Lantern because Jon Stewart. You know what I'm saying? But then there's also a white Green Lantern, which is Hal Jordan. That's like the cheat code to me. It's like if you're gonna make a character black, I feel like the cheat code would be to make it something different. So like what Spider-Man, there's Peter Parker, and then Miles Morales. There's Iron Man who is what the fuck is his name? Tony Stark, and then there's the black one is like a
War Machine.
It's like a black girl.
The black girl. Yeah.
There's War Machine, and then there's the little girl. She's like Ironheart or something like that. Like I feel like so I'll say like this. Granted, I want to see more black people like that. And even when the guy who created Miles Morales, they asked why did he make Miles Morales, Afro Latino, whatever. And he's like, well, that I have kids, and I'm just creating a world I'm just creating my world in a character. So that's why he created Miles Morales, and I think he created Ironheart too. And
which are essentially original characters, twist on the character, but they're original in the sense of their own person.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So I feel like if you're gonna do it, that's the best way to do it, because then it makes more sense. Because if you took Peter Parker, made him black, and put Jordans on his feet, you're gonna look at it like, the fuck is this?
Right.
Versus Miles Morales wearing Jordans and Afro Latino in New York City, it's like I can, that's feasible. So I mean, I feel like, and I definitely agree with what you're saying. If you're gonna do it original. I don't want to see a black Superman. I mean, if there was a black Superman, I'm not gonna be mad about it, but it's not something that I'm like, that's not an issue that I feel like needs to be addressed. There's too many white superheroes, make them black. It's like, don't make the original ones black. Fucking make new superheroes. I don't know, make something.
And before Ryan goes, there was another point, even on that. Like, they want these characters to represent the actual character in a sense, like their culture and all that. Essentially typecasting. So, say for someone like Storm, from the X-Men.
She's from Africa, is she?
She's straight African. She was an African goddess.
Yeah, she's African.
Halle Berry was playing her. I'm not saying Halle Berry in some distant, she was originated from Africa, but she is not essentially a representation of that. She's technically an American black woman. She's American, really and truly. Storm is an African lady. So where does that line get drawn from? Okay, they look kind of similar, fine, and actual cultural representation that they got a pure African woman. I'm gonna say pure, that sounds mad. An African woman, straight Africa, to play Storm, because that's actually her. But what's your thoughts on it in general, Ryan?
I think, well, I agree with you guys that recasting a film that's already come out, or recasting a story that's already come out with the same story, just black or whatever race as the characters, to me it doesn't do anything. Like, I have to be mindful because I'm white, so
You ain't got a baby.
I can no, but I mean, like, I can understand, like, from like a business standpoint, that Disney or whoever are standing there going, do you know what? Yeah, we need to represent the masses here. So yes, we're gonna have a white Cinderella and we're gonna have a black one too, because we don't want to say that to be a princess you have to be white. You can be both. So it's about, like, in their mind they're going, okay, we're gonna balance it. So I can see that from a business standpoint. I don't think it needs to happen, but I can see it, and I can relate with that. If you're a 4-year-old girl and you're watching Cinderella and she's white and has straight hair and she's blonde, you're gonna go, oh, to be a princess I have to be like that. Like, I completely agree with you guys that you can create new stories that are accurate to the culture of whoever you're depicting as the lead character. But at the same time, you can tell stories with different cultures involved and them depicting it. Like, for example, theatre. In theatre, it doesn't matter what race you are. It's if you can play the role.
You saw that with Hamilton.
Hamilton, yeah, exactly. George Washington is black in Hamilton.
Mostly everybody is black or Hispanic.
Pretty much everyone in Hamilton is not white. There are a handful of white people in there, but the majority, in my opinion, if not a majority of quite a few of the lead characters are black or Hispanic and play white people from history, right? And that's normal in theater. So I don't see a reason why that shouldn't be normality in film, personally. But then also as well, I think if we're gonna depict a culture, you have to depict it correctly. So, for example, The Mummy. If you ever watched The Mummy, go on, Muzi.
ITV.
I was gonna say,
love
I was going to harp on that point that you talked about right there, where you're talking about, and I'll say the difference between theater and movies is, at the end of the day, I know that you're black, and granted they'll have like the little euphemisms to, like, you know, like I said, obviously in Hamilton they had like their rapping and stuff like that, but it's still a white guy, and they still true to that culture. I think the difference is that when they do it in movies, they try to change the whole character's being.
Yeah, to a different culture. They change the story
Yeah,
basically to make
yeah,
the story to that culture because they feel that fits.
and I understand that, but I think that's the line where it comes to movie and theater. Because in theater,
yeah,
I'm the role, but I'm still me, and I'm gonna put my flair of me in this role. But in
no, that's a good
fucking
point. That's a good point. That's a good point. Like the main one that sticks out for me is Cinderella because it's worldwide known and it's easy to pick on because Cinderella was a white princess with blonde hair and all this shit who lost a slipper, and that's the way it went. And some white prince came and saved her from a white ball that everyone went to, that everyone was white, and there was all the privileged people in the town. There was, like, honestly, if you watch the first film, I don't think there's a black person in it, and if they are, they're casted as like a maid or something. And that I don't mean that in a derogative way. That's facts. So then to make another Cinderella, I can really get the business sense of it. Like, to us it can seem pointless, but they're sitting there going, "Fuck, we made a film that is unrepresentative. We need to make one that's representative." And go on.
You gotta think about the times that movie was made. That was the world
100%.
that they lived in.
100%, 100%. So now they need to flip that. And the way that they see fit to do that is to create an all-black cast. Like, I personally don't think that solves the issue. You know, like, okay, so this is a different thing.
I can see that working in a live action, but when you do it in cartoon, that's when it gets kind of funky.
I think this is a live action. I think it is a live action.
If it's a live action, I can respect it a lot more.
Yeah, like the point being is that so if you don't know, Pixar now have made it mandatory that they have, if not an equal split, they need to have female lead characters and male lead characters, and they need to have representation of races. So yes, it doesn't work for like Cars and Toy Story and stuff, but in Cars they didn't have any female characters, and then they made the Portia, I've forgotten what her name is in it, the main lead female character, they made her a female. Originally it was going to be one of the, like, it was going to be Lightning McQueen's like best friend or some shit, which was a male, another racing car. Yeah, exactly. So then they needed to make a female character, and they ended up making it a love story, but they needed that female character in there. But the whole idea of it on me is that I sit there and I'm like, if you're gonna do a cultural picture, make sure you pick people from that culture. So on my point of the mummy was casted with white characters. And like, I'm sorry, but Egyptians aren't white. So I lose my rag with that because it's completely wrong. And then any black character that they have will probably be like a servant or some shit, but that's not factually correct of the time. So if you're gonna set something historically, be accurate. But yeah, I'm happy to go on to Stankface Dog. Yeah, go for it, Woozy.
It's the same topic that we're talking about. Where it's like, he's like, so, you know, like, we're talking about white and black characters, whatever. Or not white and black. We're minorities versus majority, which is majority being white and minorities being Hispanic, Asian, blah blah blah. He talks about, how do you feel about white actors voicing black characters?
Okay, so see, this is an interesting one. Yeah, this is an interesting one because I feel like, me being white and in the stance that I'm in, I don't care. If you're black or if you're white, I don't care. But then I can understand that because I'm not culturally diverse, like the only culture I know is white culture, and that's the one that's heavily depicted in these kind of scenarios. If a white guy plays a black guy, I'm not going to know the difference because I'm not fully engaged in black culture to the extent that you guys would be.
In
No, I know
cartoon.
that. But
That's
then
the
I'm saying
point.
in a cartoon, if the guy is black and he's depicted by a white guy, I think that's more of a question for you guys because I don't care if the guy is white in the cartoon and has a black voice actor.
It's
It
the
literally
same
makes
for
no
you as
fucking
well.
difference to me.
I know you said white actors, but I guess it's just anything really and truly, like an Asian man representing a
I
white
could
man.
I could not give less of a fuck. If
I
the voice
honestly,
actor's okay with it, then that's cool.
Well, so you know who Phil Lamar is?
He sounds
No.
familiar. I feel like I've heard him.
So you know the voice for, I'm trying to think, Samurai Jack.
Yeah.
So he's the same same voice actor for Samurai Jack is the same voice actor for
Or a few
Jon
of them.
Stewart and
Yeah.
he played Futurama, People and Family Guy, Justice League. Like he does a range of different roles. So not only does he play black roles, he plays, Samurai Jack is not black in any means or any way, shape, or form. So it's like in that situation, it wasn't a problem. I guess it depends, because I guess when it comes to cartoons too, it's all about the mood that comes across with the voices too, right?
That's like, think about it. There's probably so many black characters out there that you never knew was voiced by a white man, because a cartoon, you don't really see the voice or the voice who belongs to behind. You just don't. So when it comes out that Jon Stewart, Samurai Jack, they're voiced by the same person, you're like, wow. And look how old them things are. Like you don't know. The only problem I have is I don't really care in it, because the thing about the difference between voice acting and what you see is they're two different, in a sense, senses. I'm hearing one thing, but what I see is a cartoon character that looks a particular way, acts a particular way, has a certain culture. A lot more representation I can get. A voice, anyone can have. Like, if I speak a certain way and Ryan speaks a way, you can't really put in terms of like the actual what I saying, you can't really put a face onto that. The tone, you can't put a face onto that. Maybe like the grammar and stuff you can start stereotyping, but you can't actually. Yeah. My only problem I say with it is the opportunity. So if
that's the argument right there.
Yeah, the opportunity. If these other say like a black person, if he has the opportunity to play, that is different. But if it's just pure white or pure wanted, and it's false, and they don't have an opportunity to represent, then that's when it becomes a problem. Otherwise, it's cartoon.
I was going to touch on that as well, because I think if I had a black role for a cartoon character and the character was very culturally black, right? Then I think having a white guy depict that might not come across the way it should. And I don't mean that's because of the badness or the issues with whoever it might be. I think that if you're trying to depict a culture and you don't do it correctly, then there probably is another person who could do the role as well, if not better. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that comes a point of the opportunity as well. If the opportunity is given and the black person was the best person for the white cartoon character, then who gives a shit? It's the same vice versa. Well, so if an Asian guy can play a white guy, then why not?
You guys remember Susie Carmine from Rugrats? Susie, the black girl from Rugrats.
Yeah.
She went from being played by a black lady to a white lady, but at the end of the day, like you said, Susie has like the little, like, I guess you could say like the, what's the word you use? Coily like hair. So yeah. it still depicts a black, black woman. I mean, a black girl. So it's like at the end of the day, it's like, I guess, like you said, the only problem I have is the opportunity. If you have a full black cast of characters and majority or white people, obviously that's a problem. But like for the most part, it doesn't happen, because if you're choosing a black character, you got to usually choose a black voice, because people can hear the distinct difference in voices. And granted, there's some good voice actors, but there's a, like, especially when you talk about like American, like even Americans, like you see people. I remember somebody was getting mad about American actors playing UK roles because they just do it in such a corny way. It's the same concept. Why don't you just use a UK person or someone from that place to do it? Because obviously you're gonna see that you're gonna not only hear the difference, you're gonna feel the difference. Like this man, it's not even. Granted, people who do like the typecast, who do like the what's the thing when they go into the role for like months before they do the acting thing.
Method
But
acting.
yeah, but not a lot of people do that.
That's what I'm saying. If the character requires some sort of culture, then I guess yeah, fine. But the character's generic and the culture might not be important, or they're not necessarily there to represent something. Then voice is a voice, I guess. So that's fine.
I think. Go on, Muzi.
He said, "Why is it a problem for a cast to be fully white?" And I just want to answer that because there's not a problem with the cast being white, like at all. It's like I said, the question is the opportunity. It's like if you knew you were making a whole black TV series, why did you go with white people? Same thing like with what Viva Red is talking about. If you know you're doing a documentary on Egyptians, or you're gonna do a movie based on Egyptians, and fun fact, Egypt's in Africa. Why would you have a whole cast of white people when you know it's based on an African culture?
Especially
and then not cast,
because if it's
exactly
different if you don't have access to the people you're trying to portray, but you do.
Yeah, exactly. and even then, if you are casting black people and you don't cast them for the roles where they would traditionally be black people, like
because like if someone if it was like a Sweden cartoon, I'm not gonna be mad if a Sweden cartoon that has black people is depicted by a white person, because I mean I don't know the ratio, but I imagine it's not a high ratio of black people out in Sweden that also have roles like that. Yeah. So it's like I'm not bothered by that. But if you're like in America or something like that, it's like, come on now, you couldn't find anybody, like not one.
Anime.
But it's the same as having like a white guy in a heavily black film.
Yeah,
like you're not then gonna have the black guy play the white guy.
Exactly.
It wouldn't work. So you would be able to find a white guy to come in and do the white role. Like, and that doesn't mean that it's an issue to have only one white guy in a film. Like, if that's the way it works, and that's the way the film is set, and that's the correct, like, its value is the fact that it is done that way, then take that and run with it. Like, there's no issue with that.
And another thing as well, like, say for your questions, why is it to be fully white? Say something like America, if one film is full cast white, okay, fair enough. I've watched plenty of films like that. But then if the majority of films are coming out like this, it's gonna be like, okay, what's going on? Considering America is quite diverse in the type of people they have, especially in those industries in terms of actors, voice actors, producers, directors, and so on. So it's like for films to be coming out nowadays and still all be predominantly white, the one-off film is fine. Black Panther is a full black, it's fine, whatever. But if all of them, it's like if it's becoming like a trend and it's not representation of the actual industry, then that's like, to me, seems like a problem. So it's like anime is primarily Japanese. I bet you half of the black people in the anime, even though it's like growing like one or two, are still voiced by Japanese. I don't give a shit.
Exactly.
I don't care. I don't care because there's not many black people there. Now, if the population was 50,
that role.
Yeah, exactly. If the percentage of Japan is 50% black or whatever, and a large portion of them were in the voice acting industry and part of the industry, but yet still there was only like Japanese people doing the voices, that's when you probably can see a problem. Other than that,
can I ask?
Good.
Have either of you heard of Bridgerton? It's a series on Netflix.
I heard of it, yeah.
Okay, so like it's set in like early England, and they have a black lead character who is a duke, which is basically like a super high up, like sought after male. And I can tell you for a fact there would not have been a black duke in that time, but there is in this series.
Yeah.
I personally could not give less of a fuck if the guy's black, if he's white, whatever. If they wanted to have representation, I think that's a great thing. Historically, factually, it's completely incorrect.
And I think
so then I think it really depends, in my opinion, on how factually correct you're trying to be, because I appreciate sitting there and going, this is a TV series, they're not basing it on fact, yes, and
It's
having
loosely related to real
representation.
life. It's loosely related, but it's
Exactly,
not based
exactly, and having representation is more important than being factually correct.
bro.
Whilst in the case of like the Mummy, they had no excuse to not hire a black person when it's in Africa. Like, I don't care if they have a couple white people here and there, or even if they have majority white people. I don't care. Not casting a lead black artist in that film is a fucking crime.
It's
Like,
like
it's wrong. Like,
Yeah, I
how I
mean,
see. Gun.
I feel like I just feel like I said, I know Stinkface. He talks about, like I said, it's about getting up in arms. It's not something I feel like there's better things to get up in arms about, but I feel like definitely it's not. Obviously, it's one of those things you gotta look at. Like, okay, like you said, it's not something like if I saw a whole white cast of people, and it's like a black show, I'm gonna be like I'm a side eye like what the fuck going on here? But like you said, like Sly said, it's about the the consistency of like for a span of 10 years there hasn't you've been playing white people in these black roles, in these leading black roles. It's like, what's going on here? It's not like you couldn't find someone, you know what I'm saying? So it's not really a big issue because, and for the most part, like a lot of these creative energies are probably like are some of the best that when it comes to being like diverse, because like gaming industry and fucking acting shit like that. That's like to me, like especially like TV shows like that. Like the first time I saw like major roles played by like minorities, but
I
some of
think
these movies, bro,
they have to be progressive because
they're leading the
uh,
culture.
yeah, exactly. Like, if they're not progressive, that's what people see. So really and truly, like that's why films have to be progressive, in my opinion, as well. They have to move to that. They have to be able to show representation, because it's fucking stupid to think that there isn't a fair representation of culture, race, and sex in the film, acting, or whatever industry. It's bullshit. It's the same. It's the same with football. It's the same with sports. It's the same with all these things. There is 100% representation, and it's our fault that it's not represented. Easy.
Bro,
Yeah,
how
it's
I
like that
see.
circle. It's like, oh, go ahead, no.
I was gonna say I see film, all these type of media outlets. I see them as an expression for creativity. You know what I mean? It's sort of like the what ifs, bro. If I go to New York, there's not gonna be posters of, oh, the Jatari just invaded. That shit is real, ain't real. It's fake. It's fiction. It's made up. It's imagination, and film is just an outlet for it. So you can have fun with it. You can express it in so many different ways. Say, for example, what Ryan was saying with the Bridgerton. Yeah, they ain't gonna be no Black Duke back in them days, but they've taken it, they've used their creativity, and they've spun it, and they've created quote unquote art. That's fine. That is all good, and like people need to realize that more. And I know you're talking about going in that sort of direction, which I think is very important. I just want people to, like you said, some people are outraged and up in arms. I don't particularly agree with it, and I think what they're outraged about is what they're happy about is wrong. Not wrong, but just misplaced. There has been
Yeah.
significant progression in the film industry with representation. Very good. Please don't shoehorn it. Please, don't
I
force
think
it.
like a point to kind of like finish that with, unless you want to go, family.
No, I was about to say the same thing. I was gonna say something to finish it on too.
Go for it, fam. You do it. You're a closer.
Well, I mean, no, I would say go ahead. Cause mine's is more like a quote. So I'll let
Go
you go
for it,
ahead and
fam.
speak
No,
your
that's
shit.
hot. That's hot. That's hot. Let's finish it on
Well,
a quote.
it's just one of those things where it's like life and like life. Damn, what's the fucking word she used? I can't remember the fucking word. Damn, I lost my train of thought. It's like life imitates art, and art imitates life. It's like that circle. So it's
Yeah.
like I like basically in that sense, like if I create, like I said, if I create in my art, I create a more diverse world. Life will imitate that, and then my art will also imitate that. So if it's like that back and forth. If I predominantly keep putting out like white content or whatever like that, you know, people are gonna reflect like, okay, I gotta look more wider. But if you put more diversity, it's like, okay, I'm okay with being who I am because
100%, 100%, and that's shown throughout fucking life on Earth, fam. Like when
yeah,
you really do it, yeah. Like I
you
don't
hear
want
the
to change
story.
to another topic, but like the British colonialism, they expressed white views and white opinions, and that white was the best thing ever, and
Yeah,
that's kind of stood stead since. So it's
that's
representation is what needs to happen, and that's what the arts are there to do, to create it. Because no one
100%.
creates it,
Because
nothing changes. So
like I said, I
yeah,
mean, it's one of those things where you hear those like little kids like, I didn't know I can do it until I saw, you know, as a minority, I didn't realize I could
100%,
do it until I saw this minority do it. Like
100%, 100%.
stories like that kind of break my heart because like I've always felt like, I mean, granted, like I'm gonna be that ignorant to be like I never seen color, but I never saw my color as a barrier of entry. I feel like if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. And I think it's
Yeah,
crazy that some kids see their color as a barrier to entry. Like
that
I can't
that
even do this because I'm not black. I mean, because
that's
I'm not
because
white.
yeah, that's because no one's born racist. So when you're a kid, you think you can do anything because you're not born racist. You're not born to think that you can't. You're told you can because you can. It's only
Yeah.
when you grow up and people are depicted or turned to be racist, essentially. That's ultimately what takes it down. Racist and sexist and socialized to be that way is the ultimate downfall of fucking all that shit.
Well, like I said,
Um,
seeing people like Michael B. Jordan and Samuel L. Jackson and Denzel Washington, like some people that was a catalyst to like, okay, I can be like, what they showed. Denzel Washington was a catalyst for the guy who played the main role in Black Panther. Like he was the reason that guy
be
even started acting. So
100%,
saw that
100%. And
too.
it's the same with like fucking Samuel Jackson was like 50 when he got his first huge role. So it created an instance where people who are really old were like, do you know what? Like, I can do that. And like it's a huge instigator. When you see someone do it, you believe you know it's achievable because you're a person.
well,
So
they did the groundwork for you. I mean, like Gary Vee said,
exactly,
if you see someone in your position succeed, they just gave you the blueprint on how to succeed. You just got to follow that.
100%.
I was real shit. I was like, because you know, like I said, people like I say he talks about all the time. He's like, I'm not saying it's not. I'm not saying because he talks about all the time. People are like, oh, it's hard for me because blah 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 XYZ. He's like, I'm not saying it's not hard for you, and I'm not going to ever disrespect you in that way. But I will say that the fact that there's people who have done it is obviously a blueprint to get it done. So do it. Don't harp on the fact that I keep using the word harp. The harp is the word of the day. Don't freaking sit on the fact that I'm getting held back in this way, so I'm not be able to do it. When really it's like, someone's done it for you, bro. Like you just got to do it. Like
That's the problem with equal identity politics. Is like you've lost touch of you in the person as an individual first. So you might turn around and say, I don't want to sound ignorant, but I don't think I've been held back. A lot of people think the same. Who are black, who the majority will say have been held back. And sometimes it's just not true.
I'll say
Because
this.
we're identifying these people. I'm identified by my group by being black. Before someone even knows me or knows who I am or speaking to me, they will identify with the fact I'm black. So they already feel like I've had certain experience, or I think a type of way, or I've been victim of X, Y, and Z. And sometimes it isn't true. It's the best.
I would say
On.
the split on that is it's one thing to say you have an experience, but some people will be arrogant enough to say that it doesn't exist because I haven't experienced it.
True. And I think a lot of people are the opposite as well, in a sense where they will kind of force it upon you. You know what I mean? Like if a black person will find trouble saying I haven't really faced racial prejudice, or something, they'll have trouble saying it because it's deemed to exist, and therefore because you are black, you've experienced it. If I turn around and say I don't think I have, someone will turn right now, but you just haven't noticed. How do you know this? I'm telling you, like, but because they have or they've seen it, they've now forced that onto you. And don't get me wrong, it can be the other way where it says, well, I haven't experienced it, so it must not be true. But I think that's kind of outrage from the fact that more time a person is identified by their group. If they are a woman, they've been sexually harassed. It's just given. You know what I mean? Even if the woman would say, I have never been, it's just given. Because they are a woman, they have been sexually harassed. And you have to accept that. It's just like, that is really and truly a matter of opinion. It's subjective. More time than not. So how can you really and truly say that? If a black man comes and says, I haven't faced racial discrimination, I'd be like, yeah, cool. Right,
I guess my only thing to that is that dichotomy of like when a girl has a drunk night and she sleeps with a man. Some girls feel like that's just the nature of the game, and the other girl sees that as, like I said, obviously rape. So it's like, I guess neither of them are wrong, but it is up to interpretation. So that's all I'm gonna say about it.
And neither of them are right. It's just how you perceive it. So that's the problem with when you treat people as a group, because it negates it negates your individual person. Neither of them are wrong. Neither of them are right. One girl says she wasn't. That's literally up to them. If I say something to you and you feel offended, I can say the same thing to another person, and they don't feel offended. Who's gonna police that? Who's gonna say actually what you said was offensive? Because one person didn't find it offensive. So it's like these groups tend to like speak for other people. You know what I mean? They speak for you. No one elected you. I speak for myself. I don't speak for anyone else but myself. And I don't really want anyone. I haven't elected anyone to speak for me. So when it comes to feminism or racial discrimination, who can speak for me? No one can. I haven't elected them.
I'll say I get what you're saying, but I guess you got to be careful with that rhetoric, because that's a fine line.
What do you mean?
It's a fine line in the sense of like, I think I talked about this with SoCal. Some people get a little bit better treatment, and in pursuit to keep that better treatment, they're willing to say whatever it is. A good example is Stacey. Do you know what Stacey Dash is?
Dame Dash's wife. The what?
No. I don't know. I don't know if she's related to him, but Stacey Dash was I call her a coon. That's what she is. She was like the main lead chick, one of the lead people on Fox. She was an actor at one point, but she went on Fox, and she was like, they basically would send her out to like talk bad on black issues and tell, black people need to do better, and this and this and that. There's no racial discrimination, and this and that. Like I said, pushing this narrative out there, which I'm not saying it might not have been true in her world, but then the problem is now she had got to a point where she flipped it and was like, I face heavy discrimination at Fox News and all this other stuff, blah blah blah, stuff like that. So that's where I say that's a fine line, because some people, like I said, obviously she probably was facing discrimination the whole time, but the fact that she was getting treated a little bit better than the other people, she'll keep pushing this message out there. But now that her fucking situation has worn its course, now she wants to revert back like, oh no, it's always been an issue, I just never really talked about it, stuff like that. That's where I draw the line, because like I don't want to hear that shit, first of all. Second of all, I don't like you're trying to, because you're making it harder for people like me who have faced discrimination. You're like, oh no, like you hear people, you need to pull yourself up by the bootstraps. How can you pull yourself up by your bootstraps if you don't have no boots? You know what I'm saying? That's what Martin Luther King said. It's like, you're telling me to pull myself up by my bootstraps. That's what's wrong with black people, black guys saying stuff like that. That's what's wrong with black people. They don't know how to do nothing for themselves, blah, 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 stuff like that. Well, you don't understand. My situation is completely different from your situation. It's like, I'm not trying to knock you. Yeah, you had a middle-class family. Not talking to you specifically, but you had a middle-class family you were taken care of. So obviously your situation is better than me, but that doesn't mean that I haven't faced racial discrimination when I go work a minimum wage job.
And this is what I mean by like the individual.
Yeah,
that's
what I'm saying.
Yeah, so that's why I think it's dangerous to do identity politics in a sense. speaking for whole groups in a sense, because yeah, like you said, two people who are deemed in the same group could have completely different experiences. So that whole thing is a bit mad. I know we ain't got much time. Go on.
Yeah, we don't got much time. Well, Ponce talks about the Latinos for Trump, and that was like a big thing for me that threw me for a loop because obviously Trump's policies were heavily anti-Latino, like no question about it. He's like put up this wall, send them back. They are raping and just telling these lies, and then there's still people who are Latino community like voting for Trump, like
Can I offer
because go
a
ahead.
potential explanation why? Has got to be devil. I've got a
Oh,
challenge.
I know
Everyone.
why. It's just funny.
Is Trump racist?
100%.
Yeah.
Why?
This is a whole new thing, fam.
I said when you think about the concept of racism, it's just pretty simple. Not to go too deep, but he chooses his own race over other
Any
races.
other race.
Like he's superior.
Yeah.
He's superior. And
I feel I need to do
proven
more
that
research.
way.
I haven't seen much in it, but from what I have seen, I don't know. I don't know the geese. Like I can hear little stuff in the media that he's done, and he wants to build a wall. I didn't know why he wanted to build a wall.
He's very
I'll give
racist
you
and
one-
very sexist, bro. Like
I'll give
incredible.
you one situation that proves that he was racist. There was a situation, obviously Black Lives Matter versus I don't know if you remember his presidency like that, but there was a time when there was like a peaceful protest and proven like people were like Nazi like neo-Nazis were like rising up, stuff like that, and people went to protest the neo-Nazi stuff like that, and the neo-Nazi people ran over a girl, bodied her, killed her, and he said there's good people on both sides. That was his answer to that. There's good people on both sides. I'm not going to make an enemy out of, I'm not going to make these people be out to be bad people, but stuff like that. But when the same situation happened on the other side, it was like the Black Lives Matter movement like that, he's like I said, even like some Latino things that were going on, he was like blatantly going out there like, you guys are bad people, you guys are scum, shit like that. So it's like, if that's not, whether that be subtle or not, like, bro, you're blatantly saying the people who are fighting for injustice, which is proven injustice, they're scum of the earth, putting out like saying like they're terrible people, but the people who are literally neo-Nazis, which is proven a Nazi is someone who does not like, is Aryanizing, like they want to Aryanize the world. There's good people on both sides. I don't want to make them be out to bad people.
Yeah.
Blase blah. It's like,
then you have the whole like fucking storm in the Capitol building where he's
mad.
saying like the guns come out, well, the violence comes out when the guns come out, is what he was saying about the Black Lives Matter marches. But then he's saying you're all fighting for a good cause. We're with you, we believe you, but go home, is what he's saying to someone who's storming the fucking Capitol. Like,
So-
he's a fucking racist pig.
I want to go
He's
back
an
to the Mexican stuff, right?
mhm.
Is he saying that about all Mexicans or just the illegal ones? Because no way, I'm personally saying, if he's saying that about all Mexicans, I don't know how Mexicans and Latinos can support him. But there is a fine difference between illegal and not.
I will say this.
So
a lot of legal Mexicans originate from illegal Mexicans because the situation in their country is not the best.
That's fair enough. That is true. But them legal Mexicans now, is he targeting them? The ones who are supporting him? They're not. So in my sense, yeah, they're Mexican. And whether the US has a problem with illegal Mexicans, that's up for debate. I think they do have a problem with it. So is he targeting all Mexicans? Because if he was racist, he would. Or is he targeting the ones
It doesn't need to
that
be
are
targeted.
legally?
Let me say it like this, Sly. When you see a person, how can you tell the difference between if a person is a legal Mexican or not a legal Mexican?
But are they doing something to do with that at all? Or are they literally like
checking them? That's the question I'm asking you. I'm asking you, if you see a person who's Latino, can you tell the difference between if he's legal or not?
No.
And that's the problem, because nobody can tell the difference. So.
But you can.
So,
you on first glance, but they're not doing it. They're not seeing all Mexicans. Oh, blah, blah, blah. They're checking.
No, but the problem is that the people who are following him are doing that. They see a Mexican, and don't matter who you are, you're an illegal Mexican.
That's the people who are following him. That's not his fault. They're being stupid.
No, but no, he creates that, fam. He creates
that is stupid.
Yeah, no, I'm not
stupid.
saying that is no one's fucking smart in this scenario, bruv.
What I'm saying is, right, he playing devil's advocate. America have an illegal immigration problem, especially with Mexico, where there is literally no line. You can just smuggle in. That is a problem. It is exclusive, mainly exclusive to Mexicans, right? So yes, he's targeting that group because the problem lies with them, right? There are some legal Mexicans who support him, and there must be a reason for that. So I'm trying to explore that reason. He's president, so his interest is in the United States. These people in Mexico are not. The same way, apparently, people in South America can't. Mexicans turn away people from South America. That's their business. That's their country. They turn away other people from South America. So what's any difference? He's basically trying to crack down and stop illegal Mexicans coming. If people want to take down, if people want to, and that's that's at the interest of America, right? Mm-hmm. And most countries, why did we leave the EU? To control our, well, partly one of the reasons was to control our borders. A lot of countries out there, majority of countries, control their borders. He is trying to control his borders from the most like prominent illegal immigrant threat, which is Mexico, right? And if people are then turning around and trying to call every Mexican illegal, that's people being stupid. But he needs to do what he needs to do.
But he's creating hatred against, like, it's the same in the UK with that. Right? So you need to pick your, like, not you, but politicians have to pick their words carefully. Joe Biden can have a problem with immigration, but not Mexicans. Trump literally says Mexicans are the issue in terms of immigration.
That's coronavirus. He called it the Chinese virus.
It's the Chinese virus. It's the same with in the UK with the whole immigration thing. Everyone's saying Eastern Europeans are the problem. We don't want them here. And it's like, there are plenty of Eastern Europeans who are very, very good citizens and do all the things they need to do. You're talking about a very small minority. You're creating hatred for a majority. Like, that's just, it's fucking racist and dumb.
And what if they're when you talk about legal immigration too? We, like I said, I'm like I said, I'm gonna say like this. There's some people who are like basically like refugees in a sense, like Ponce said, I came to this country as a kid because there's a war in my country. That's a refugee. I mean, you're gonna call him a legal immigrant because he didn't get here the way he's supposed to. But at the end of the day, if you're in a country that can't support you, so what are you gonna do? Like I said, we have the privilege of being born here and stuff like that. But like I got a friend who's from Vietnam. His dad told me the story of like him literally having to ride. They had to sit on a raft from their country, and they landed in the EU. And they didn't. The EU was like, we don't want you here. We're gonna put you on this fucking island. They like put him on the island out on the shore, basically to die because like we don't want you here. Like that's the alternative. And it's like, so which one do you? I mean, I'm not saying obviously I'm not the biggest fan of illegal immigration. I would prefer you to do the right way, but it's like, so what you do is leave them to die when you have the opportunity, the economic opportunity to, and you see what Mexicans do. And like, granted, like there's like financial issues with it, but like Mexicans will come into America, do good, and then go back to their country and do better for their family. I'm okay with that, honestly. I'm not. At the end of the day, there's enough money to go around.
Would you be happy? Say you was a leader of a country, right? Would you be happy to? Fair enough. You're being more in a sense that your people are fleeing from their countries because there's war, which I think is different to immigrating somewhere in most cases, right? So you as a leader of the country, you've got your own people, you've got shit ton of your own problems as well, whatever it could be. You allow immigrants to come in. That's humane or in goodwill.
It's the language though, Dance. It's the language though, Dance. No
one
likes.
Do you think you could achieve the same thing without the same language?
So listen to Sly and what you're saying. I get what you're saying. There's an issue that needs to be addressed.
No, but I'm saying on top of that, right? Some of the illegal immigrants that are coming are causing crime in your country. They're causing problems as well. They're doing all this. How can you determine which? Because my heart says, these people are fleeing, and help them. But then how can you then determine,
Okay,
this
so,
is a
but
good
this is what I'm
illegal
gonna say.
immigrant and this is a bad one. You can't. So do you
I'm
let
gonna
them
say
all in
this.
or you stop?
I'm gonna show you why it's bullshit. If that's the case, you got these statistics to prove that illegal Hispanics come here and cause problems. Then why is the jail system still predominantly black people? If you're saying these illegal immigrants coming here and cause this much of a ruckus, and you look at the ratio of what's in the prison system and it doesn't equal to what you're saying,
Of course,
then that's where I gotta call bullshit on what you're talking
that's
about.
fine, but the amount of them is different in a sense. You know what I mean?
That's a scale, but still, like,
It's a scale.
okay,
So really and
So
truly,
yeah, I think at the end of the day, like in America, in California, it's 50%. It's almost damn near 50% Hispanics, right?
yeah.
And I would imagine I'm not gonna make no
But
like brash prediction. I imagine not all of them came here legally,
That's
which
fair
is a
enough.
fair assumption.
But
We got
that's another issue at hand. The black incarceration
Well,
is a whole nother issue at hand.
but that's what I'm saying. They're saying these where it's proven that these illegal immigrants coming here cause this crime, and they do this and that. So they got proof that these crimes happen and that they're Latinos. And they obviously they know they're Latinos. Means they have caught them at this point, or they got an idea who it is. But when you see the incarceration,
But
that doesn't make any
because
sense.
is that because they deport them? They don't incarcerate them. You're not going to incarcerate illegal immigrant. You're going to deport them, and I
No,
think
they
that's what they
do.
do.
They do. They do
Most
both.
people who are here illegally, they will just deport you.
It
They're illegal
depends how
immigrants in the
far
first
inland
place.
they are. It depends where
They,
they
they,
are.
they,
Depends
will,
on
they will
the
charge you.
I think
They
the
still gotta
majority of the time
charge
they deport them if they committed crime because they've just found someone illegal. They deport them.
they still have to go through the prison system if they're committing a
Yeah.
crime.
But overall,
They're not just gonna go, oh, okay, you stabbed someone, yeah, cool, let's deport them. Like there's
if
there's
they're
still
illegal,
a
I think they
system
do
in
do
place for
that. If they're
No,
illegal,
there's a
definitely
system
do
in
that.
place for that. No, they have to get charged for what they did. They can't
Okay,
just
say they
deport.
got charged, and like that's what prison basically is, getting charged.
We're used to the situation of immigration. So that you actually get tried here.
You get
and
tried, and then what happens after you get tried?
You go to prison because it's a crime against on American soil. We don't send you back to your thing. You only get
come
sent back
illegally.
Yeah, if you come illegally, fam, they
Yeah,
still
you
they,
come-
Generally,
there's
no,
no
I'm
obligation to deport you. Like
I'm being
they
serious.
can sit there and they can put you in prison for committing a crime in the U.S.
They send you back for shit like taxes and stuff like that. They don't send you back for crimes against actual people. Like if you don't pay your
Okay.
taxes, you can get sent back. If you get caught that like say you don't have a social security number, shit like that, like you don't have visa and green card stuff like that, you get sent back. But if I go murder someone, they're not gonna just send me back so I can, especially if you know it's easy to come back over. What is the use of me sending you back? I'm gonna
Okay,
send you back.
then what
over to
crimes
where-
constitute? If you do like robbery, will they
Bro,
send you back?
in any sense, if they can charge you, they'll charge you.
No, I'm not
like,
about
that-
charging.
that
Charging is
tends
different to
be the general
deporting.
point.
Charging is different
Well,
to deporting.
they're gonna put you through the crime system in America. Like that's what charging is.
And you'll
they
be
don't
incarcerated.
just depends what you did, fam.
But that's what I'm
Like,
saying.
If
So
you,
then
if
can
you
you
done something fucked up, they'll incarcerate you.
So then
bro.
can you use
I
statistics?
don't know the fucking ins and outs of it.
That's what I'm saying. So then if they're not always being incarcerated, can you then
Do you know what?
use the statistics?
I think the main point of this is Trump racist? Fam, he created a Muslim ban within a month of being in fucking power. He literally closed the border to like Islamic countries out of fear of terrorism.
I'm gonna be honest.
That's fucking dumb.
I'm reserving any judgment before I read into it.
Well, I'm
read
gonna
into
say
it, bro. Fucking hell, like, because that's like
saying,
straight
I'm not saying
racism.
I'm not saying Sly is wrong what he's believing because Sly's thinking about strictly political.
That's fine. I have no issue with that.
But like at the end of the day, I'll say this: most people don't know Obama deported a lot of illegal immigrants, but did Obama ever come off as a racist?
Was that Obama's like main objective in a sense?
A lot of it. A lot of
as a leader, you got to get rid of.
Exactly. Every political stance is to get a hold on immigration. Every single one. It doesn't matter who you support. That is like a key issue because it is an issue for a country always.
But look at Obama. Like I said, he has like a record number of deporting a lot of people, but he also made the DACA bill where if you're going to school and you're doing right, we'll help you get through the system and help you get your citizenship as you're here. Did Trump say any shit like that? No, they're this whatever we can get you the fuck out of here. That's really what he said. And like and on top of that, I'm gonna get you the fuck out of here and close the door. I'm gonna build a wall. And like I said, a lot of people, like when you talk about the Muslim ban, it's like those people come here legally. It's not very many, illegal.
A lot of them were legal. A lot of them were legal.
I read the thing about
they created a fucking flight ban. Yeah,
Yeah.
he created a fucking flight ban for nothing. Though, like that's fucking ridiculous.
I read one thing right about the Muslims, and I don't, you know me, I accept everyone, but their basis was on the fact that majority of Muslim countries, they haven't separated religion from state, so they haven't separated Islam from how it's run, and a lot of the culture around it is actually quite, for example, this is why don't quote me on this, misogynistic, sexist, homophobic. Being gay in a Muslim country, you're finished. Right or wrong?
Bro, is that a reason to create a Muslim ban in your country?
No, but that's their culture. So
that
it's
doesn't
not
mean
like
that they're all like.
There's
I
always
know
gonna
they're
be
all like that. I 100% know. I know.
Pretty slow and understanding of why you can always create an understanding for why someone did something, but at the end of the day, where's the human nature in that? I can always find a reason on why I shouldn't give a homeless man no fucking food, right? Because he's, I mean, you obviously burned all your bridges and you became a homeless man, but what about the human aspect? Okay, that man's hungry, and I have the ability to give him some food, and it won't affect me.
Human nature is not working. I think that's honestly why the right are winning. It's true because
not working.
It's not, because look who we've got in power.
We haven't used it.
Look, I'm saying look who we've got in power. The
Trump's
right
not
have
in power anymore, fam. Trump's not in power anymore, fam.
Trump, so he can never.
He was in power even in the UK. The right have been winning. The right have been winning. I don't think that's because the right are good. I think that's because
I don't think either one is good.
No.
No.
I mean, I don't think the right are doing anything exceptionally better. I think the
left. Yeah, I mean, you're right.
The left
it's
are
about
failing.
As close to the goal as you can possibly can.
The left are literally they're failing.
Yeah, I mean, like it's
it's
one of those things. Like I don't really get too heavily into politics because I mean, obviously, politics is all bullshit to me. But that's why I took it back to the human nature aspect. The fact that I get it, I get what you're saying. As a politician, as a leader of your country, you gotta get a hold of immigration. If these things don't follow the values of the nation that you have the right to do these things. But then it's like, what's the human aspect? Obviously, these people have been here for many years. Like this is, so it's like, what's this? What? There was no catalyst for now. If they did that during 9/11, understandable. 2018 or what when he get elected?
2016.
Yeah, 2016. What was the reason to do that? Was there a terrorist attack in American soil that prompted that?
Has
there was
Americans
not.
ever got over 9/11? I
Bro,
think
that doesn't give the excuse.
No,
to
I'm not
create
saying
a
that, but I'm
Muslim
saying the
ban.
war on terror has been going on since then in America, in the minds of Americans.
I'm saying the catalyst though.
But since that happened, the war on Americans has been. It's probably been brewing in people's hearts.
But bro, that doesn't make it like a political excuse to be racist.
I'm not saying.
Like, I think that the point that you started this with, Dance, is Trump racist, and to go on to that point, the language he uses makes him racist, sexist, and a bigot.
Like I said, I'm going to watch a load of stuff.
Research it. It will take you 10 minutes, if that, 10 seconds even. Like, if you Google it, it will come up with all sorts of shit, fam. And the way he talks to his daughter, the way he talks about women, the way he talks about race, the way he says things that defend the white supremacists, essentially, it's fucked. Like, and I mean, like, to be a political leader, I'm disgusted at the man. He's a fucking asshole, like, for no other sense of the word. And I know we don't want to get political, but that is genuinely like fucking atrocious. He was a horrible person.
Even just look in the sense of his people he was working with. Literally everybody who was working with him dipped before he even got out of office. They're like, I can't even work with this fucker no more. Like, you said they had something, DeRosa, I can't remember her name. It was a black woman who was working with him. She was like, I just couldn't do it because it was like the most, like I said, one of the worst times she's had as far as like a black woman. It's like, I mean, granted, she was also on some coon stuff too, but it was like, at the end of the day, like, this is people who are on his side that are also coming back saying like, oh no, this man's just. I'm not trying to be the person who's like, okay, because Trump is racist, every white person is racist. I'm not trying to take it that far, but
No, 100%.
it's safe for me to say that Trump, based on his words that I've seen, leads me to believe that he's racist. I've never met him, but from his rhetoric that he pushes, not to mention the people that he gravitate to you, because that's a big indicator too. I can tell people that I'm not racist, but if I gravitate racist people, that must mean something about me resonates with him, because you only resonate with people who are like you. So I can just using those two things, which is pretty simple. I can safely say I have a feeling that Trump is racist
and sexist.
Yes,
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'm just saying, like,
I'm gonna grab her
horrible bad man.
That's his famous phrase. I'm gonna grab her by the pussy. He said that on the stand, like said that during a speech. I'm gonna grab her by the pussy. Like that's proven. That's not even a joke or like somebody edited that up. He said that literally verbatim.
And that he would date his daughter.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab her by the pussy.
And that he would date his daughter.
Have you not said anything worse?
I'm not the president of the United States.
Like, this is
that's where it comes down to. The president. No, this is what I mean. Bro. The president of the United States is not perfect. No one is.
But that's what I'm saying. If you're going to be the leader of a nation, if like so,
remember,
let me say
he was elected, so more people oppose your view. I'm being a neutral. I don't like. I'm just playing devil's advocate. More people will oppose your ideologies and your views than they do support Trump. That's why he's in power. Well, that's why he was in power.
No, 100%.
Are you the minority? Do you agree? Is it universally accepted that he's this type of way if the majority of people don't see it? That's all I'm saying.
I'm gonna say this: if someone came to you, Sly, and was like, Sly, I want you to run this sector of XYZ. Do you think you're gonna use the same behavior that you use right now with us when we're bullshitting talking? Fuck, you don't use the same behavior you're talking with us with your mom. You saw you talk to your mom? Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. Hold on, wait a minute. Exactly. So why I can't give you the fucking pass right now. You're a fucking leader of the nation.
So then why do people then go dig up past stuff? I'm sure they tried to dig up something he done in the past.
They did. They just didn't want Hillary Clinton in office. I mean, that's pretty simple. I'm gonna keep it a brick. That's really what it was. I'd rather have Trump as president and have Hillary Clinton in office. That's really what it was. Because everybody wanted Bernie Sanders, but because of the way when you learn more about how the politics system works in America, there's a whole get into it. I'm not going to get into that.
No.
That's the problem.
There's Trump a documentary on it, Dons.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's like I said, no one really wanted Trump. People just didn't want Hillary. That's really what it came down to. Because even Trump, if you look back, Trump said he only ran for president to take votes away from Jeb Bush because of family rivalry. It just spun out of control from that. It's like I said, it's a crazy thing where how he became the president, because he didn't even want to become truly president. He just thought
it was a joke. It was a joke because fucking CNN or whoever were paying more to a female than they were to him. So he was like, "Well, fuck you. I can do a fake press launch." So it was a fake press launch to run for president. The first one where he announced he was going to run for president, it was fake. He wanted to show the company that he could still build a crowd bigger than she can. And then it went from that. Like, you're fucking kidding. I cannot. Honestly.
There's interviews of people talking about like when he was about to get elected, basically like he was getting down to the wire of when he was getting elected. He literally was like, "Damn, this is really gonna happen." Like he didn't even believe it was gonna happen because he, like I said, it's one of those things where like you do it and it gets out of control and you just got to double down. So even that, in a sense, is like he didn't even really want to be president,
and he still won over Hillary. That's mad.
Yeah, you need to watch it, bro.
Over races, that's what I'm saying. I'm not. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a grander issue than what it is. Is he racist? Yes. Should he have been president? No. But
was he elected? Yes. And was it a fair election? Yes. Like you can't take away from that.
It was fair because everybody wanted that fucker in there. But like I said, it's one of those things where it's like. It came down to, like you said, it came down to the end of the wire. People rather have a racist man in office than they have a woman. Remember, Hillary ran against Obama. They rather have had a black man in office than to have Hillary in there. So they got Hillary the fuck out of there.
And I don't mean to sound that guy. I don't think it was just a woman. I think Hillary was just fucking
Well,
shit.
I mean, Hillary's is a whole different character. I don't fuck with Hillary at all.
Yeah, like
It's
Bernie. You need
at all.
you guys really need to watch that documentary. I know Weezy probably has, but like you need to watch the documentary of how Trump got into office. I think it's on Netflix.
That shit's nuts. It's
And they go through the entire process of how much of a racist he is, how sexist he is, and everything he said, and the way that it worked, and how Bernie Sanders didn't get picked, and how Hillary got picked through like just political bullshit.
Democrats
super delegates who have more votes.
Bernie and Hillary like on the same side in a sense.
Yeah. So they have a primary where the Republicans and the Democrats pick who they're gonna get. And basically there were people who had super delegates, which meant their votes counted more than normal people's. And these people voted in Hillary. It was but Bernie won every single state by the amount of votes. But the super delegates voted Hillary in anyway. So you could have voted. You voted for Bernie. It didn't count. It made no fucking odds.
And the thing too was like, if he could have still ran, but he didn't run because if he ran, he knew he would pull votes from Hillary. So his best thing he could do was jump out the race and tell everybody to go for Hillary.
Because otherwise they were definitely going to lose.
I'm not going for Hillary.
Yeah, because otherwise they were 100% going to lose if they didn't do that.
So like I said, the system is not it's fair, but it's not fair, especially when it comes to Democrats. That's why I know it sounds crazy. I personally don't fuck with Democrats on any level because their system over there is fucking wild. It's so like I said, the super Democrat shit is the wildest thing I've ever heard in my life. Because I don't think, if I remember correctly, don't quote me though. I don't remember. If I remember correctly, it's not the same situation on the Republican side, but on the Democrat side it is. And I was like, this is why I don't fuck with politics. Like I said, I just do the best I can do with what I can do in the world.
You see, when they announce the primary, right? They go through every state, and the documentary points out that a lonely person with one piece of A4 paper said Bernie won this state by like I think it's like 50,000 votes or some shit like that, and she was holding it up over the head. That was the only indication that anyone got at the time of how truthful it was that Bernie actually won in terms of votes. It's ridiculous. But we need to end because we're on fucking over 3 hours.
Yeah, I'm trying to play some Call of Duty, y'all.
Yeah, big fact. I need to eat and I need to play some games. But Dans, are you okay? Are you happy with everything that we've said, or is there anything else you want to just like finish on? Because I'm cool with that too.
Oh no, it's just discussion. I'm not like.
No. I know that, but just like a closing point from your set, because I don't want to like cut you off.
No. I was just saying I don't really know about the guy in it. Like a lot of this stuff, I don't really know in it. So I will speak to you. If I speak to someone, the majority of people will be like, well, that I know will say one particular way. And like I haven't done my research on that, so it's like I can't then form an opinion. And
yeah, that's fair.
You know what I mean, like you two could tell me Trump is this, Trump is that, and he may be. I'm not denying that. I'm just saying I need to interpret it my way. Do you know what I mean? So
I'm not trying to persuade you at all. I just know in my eye, that's how I feel, and I'm gonna treat them. I don't want you to listen to me and be like, oh, he's racist. I'm not here to be like that's all my views. Yeah, I don't want you to. I don't want you to believe because I believe in some crazy shit. Like I said,
I can't lie. Yeah, there's one thing that I will. Like there are things that I will not move on, and Trump is a fucking racist. And if anyone wants to argue with me otherwise, I'm happy for you to try. But like I will hold stead. He's a fucking racist, and I appreciate that Dance hasn't done his research in it. I guarantee you, within 2 minutes of doing his research, he will come out with the fact that he is a fucking racist. And like, I will have that discussion with anyone happily, and I will explain to you why that's the case. But as I say, like, do your research, make your own opinions. We're just here to talk and to make discussion and to educate each other.
Saying I'm not going to take your opinion seriously, but
no, I know that. I'm not saying that.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, no, 100%, 100%.
I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he isn't. I'm just neutral. I'm just in a state of learning, innit? Like that's it. So
I really, I can't even deny. Yeah, it's a big fact.
Can I give you guys a pro tip? Pro tip when it comes to debating, not you guys, but anybody watching. What's up, BB Wrecked? If you're the best way to come to your views is to research both sides.
100%.
I think that's a big problem. That's a big problem we have in our nation. They research one side, and because I know everything about one side, that's all I need to know. But you should research both sides and then come up with your views from that.
Facts.
That's what I've tried to express today. Do you know what I mean? Because I
No,
honestly,
100%,
I've only been
100%.
given what? No. I've only been given one side. I can't even lie.
Well, I'm gonna send you.
I don't even think you've been given the full one
Yeah,
side
no.
on that situation.
100%. I remember my cousin was like, "Yeah, he supports Trump or so he likes Trump." I was like, "Whoa!" But all I've heard is hate on Trump. Like
I'm gonna send you a video after this of a TED talk of this black guy who became friends with the leader of the Ku Klux Klan, which is the KKK.
What's his name? I've seen him.
Yeah, I'm gonna show you I'm gonna send you that TED talk. That's a good example of the topic I'm talking about. Is like if you're black and you never met someone, you can only assume, which is safe to assume that KKK is racist, but he took the time to actually go and learn about them, and that only helped further his view, but also spoiler alert, he ended up making the guy who's the leader of the KKK, he actually quit and realized that black people weren't so bad. So it's about seeing both sides. 100%.
Befriended a lot of them, innit? Daryl Davis, his name is Daryl with a Y, Daryl. I remember him.
Shit's cold. That shit was like, I read that story. I said, he better than me. I've been nervous as a motherfucker. He used to show up to all the meetings too. Yeah,
so
right.
We end it on that. Thanks, guys, for coming. For an hour we just went off random, then we went on that focus and stuff. But like Woozy was saying, just on a lever note, the best way to come into a debate, argument, whatever, is when you've researched both sides. Or if you haven't researched both sides, you listen. Because that person can offer you a lot of information and they can be, in a sense, a source of your other side. You know what I mean? And be open to change. I said fuck the other side. Be open to change. Be open to have your opinions changed. And be open to learn. Every discussion you have should be a source of knowledge. So yeah. Thank you all for coming. It's your boy Sly with the robe. Man like Woozy, the vibe coordinator. And man like Viva Red, the champion, the legend.